Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mickey mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Welcome back to the Random Show. Random Show episode number 396. Day number 2 of 31. We restarted counting yesterday. It's day number 2 of 31. 31-day marathon stream coming right and live direct, whatever the word is, live and direct, courtesy of where I am right now. We're doing it. We're back on the saddle again. We reset the timer. We reset the clock. We're going through it one more time. We go again. Day number 2 of 31. What's happening, people? How are you doing? Apologies for the delay. Just finished up, doing bits and bobs to the Taz show. So that was why I was taking a little bit longer to switch over, but we're here. Thank you for those of you who joined me on Taz for a little bit. But we're back on the Random Show settings for the next few hours. Talk about a couple of things here and there. We'll probably be going for around 3 hours or so, I think, around maybe the 3 hour mark or something. We've got some things to cover, Tfatk stuff to cover, Wings of Redemption stuff to cover. We've got a little DSP documentary by Gundam, but ITSAGUNDAM actually just dropped, going to get through that as well, and a few other bits and pieces here and there. On the premiere, the #1 comedy commentary podcast live stream in the world, the Random Show, the #1 stand-up comedy adjacent show in the world. We're here, we're queer, we're ready to flip and rock. Saturday night settings. Big up everybody that's inside today. Big up everybody that's chilling. Big up everybody that's just having a good time, relaxing, kicking their feet up. Big up those of you who are working. Hopefully you're not going to be working too hard. Hopefully it's not too busy where you're at right now, and you can have me on in the background listening, hanging out and shit. Big up those of you who are sipping. If you're sipping on something, let me know. I've got my super malt in here, obviously, with all my fucking ice cubes in there. So big up all the super malt drinkers. My nice little non-alcoholic malt drink. Anybody else got anything else out there? Let me know what you got out there, what you're sipping on, what you're smoking on, what you're eating on. Let me know while I'm. Big up everybody that's going to be joining later on. Those of you that know, obviously we're doing the 31-day marathon. So the idea is to get to 500 members by the end of the 31 days. So we're streaming every day, trying to hit that target. If you want to join and become a member, there should be a link to join and become a member in the description box. If not, you can also gift memberships as well, and all that good stuff. But if you don't want to do that, just like the stream, subscribe to the channel, engage in the stream chat, and also join the Discord. Discord's a good little community of people over there. So that's all welcome as well. All welcome. Let's get it. So, first things first. The Tory Lanez stuff. Sorry, the Tory Lanez update. Apologies there. The Tory Lanez update. So, as most of you guys know, Tory Lanez case, or the Tory Lanez, the Megan Thee Stallion shooting, the Tory Lanez in prison for, there's been an update regarding that. This group called United People, whatever. I think they're like an independent legal firm or something that looks at, I guess, injustices in court cases and stuff. They've taken up Tory Lanez's case, but if I'm not mistaken, it goes something like this. There was a reporter for the New York Post, New York Times, one of those papers, who was going to write a piece about the Megan Thee Stallion shooting and the whole court case and the conviction. He was looking into it, and the more he started looking into it, he started to notice that there were some inconsistencies, there were some errors, there were some gaps, there were some things that didn't make sense. And essentially he came to the conclusion that it's unfair that Tory got locked up for it because he didn't actually shoot Megan, from what he can kind of ascertain for the evidence that he saw. And they're now alleging, which I think is a bit of a stretch. I think it's a bit of a stretch, but that team of people are alleging, or are heavily implying, that Megan Thee Stallion's team, Rock Nation, may have had something to do with the stabbing in the prison. Because he's alleging that he was writing this story for New York Times and New York Post. He reached out to Tory Lanez's team and Megan Thee Stallion's team and Kelsey Nicole's team for comment. Only Megan Thee Stallion's team, I think, responded. And when they responded, 2 days after, Tory gets stabbed 14 times in prison. So people are trying to connect the two things and think that was like a cause and effect. It could just be it could be a coincidence. Prison life is fucking harsh, I'm assuming. I don't think it's directly, a correlation there. But you never know. Because if it is true, what they're saying, that allegedly there was no DNA found on the gun that matched TORY's. Allegedly, they're saying that there's a witness that's come out now, who I think is a driver, if I'm not mistaken. The driver of Kelsey Nicole has come out and basically said that Kelsey admitted in the car when they were driving to somebody else that TORY didn't shoot Megan. It was actually her that shot Megan, but like indirectly. I think she was trying to shoot Megan. TORY was trying to wrestle the gun away from her without touching the gun. The gun goes off twice or 3 times, I think, sorry. And then when TORY manages to wrestle the gun away from Kelsey, the gun drops on the floor and goes off a further 2 times. But at no point did TORY actually touch the gun, hold it with his hands and shoot Megan in the feet, or do what Megan said he did, which is another lie actually, which never really got, no one really speaks about the lie what she said about allegedly TORY said to her to dance bitch, dance bitch. I don't see where that comes from. That's a very strange thing to put out there, but that's what they're basically saying. They're saying that a lot of the evidence that was used against TORY is a bit bunk, and a lot of the new evidence coming out makes it seem as if TORY probably wasn't responsible for the shooting. Which is interesting, because it made me think earlier today. I was like, how do you sleep at night if you got somebody like, because I don't know what to think of this whole case. I really don't know what to think of it. But at the beginning, I really didn't believe the idea that TORY did shoot her. Not directly. Maybe if you told me there was some sort of scuffle, there was some sort of struggle for the gun and it went off, cool. But the idea that he would stand there and aim at her feet and shoot her, it just didn't make any sense. But then on the flip side of things, that's the narrative Megan put out from the offset. From the jump, Megan was like, TORY shot me, you shot me. She never said anything about them fighting or getting physical. It was always about, no, you took out a gun and shot me. I could have died. You tried to kill me, type of thing. And it's like, you know that isn't true. So imagine how much you have to hate somebody. Because we kind of already seen it a little bit with the whole Halle Bailey and DDG shit, right? Essentially, I think Halle Bailey is punishing DDG for probably how he broke up with her and how he tried to move on super quickly, and he was publicly, you know, quite on stream with all these girls kind of going on these like streaming dates and shit. I'm sure that just pissed her off, and the way he was kind of talking about her in front of his fans and stuff, and she was getting looked at a certain way. I think she kind of just got her revenge back on him in the most epic way possible by basically accusing him of domestic violence and obviously getting, you know, really good visitation rights and having sole custody of the child. So you can't say that happens. But that's when the kid's involved. When the kid's involved, I can kind of understand, you know, the mum's being a little bit crazy, a little bit possessive, a little bit protective, and doing whatever needs to be done to protect their child. I kind of get that. But when you're Megan Thee Stallion and you hooked up with TORY, I wonder what the basis was of her hate. Why does she hate him so much? Like, to lie, like, I'm trying, like, that was what I would want to know. Like, even like that's what I'd want to know for, as an outside observer, and just who has no dog in the race. I would love to know, like, what would have been the reason for her to hate the guy so much that she wanted to see him in prison for that long. Like, what could have actually happened? Because if the shooting didn't happen the way they said it happened, the way she said it happened, then what could have made her be so angry, be so pissed off, be so vengeful that she'd want him to be in prison for that long? What could have happened? But anyway, this is the article question Hollywood Reporter. Tory Lanez legal team calls for a pardon after prison stabbing, claims new evidence for shooting case. So, Tory Lanez legal team called the Governor Gavin Newsom to pardon rapper to commute his sentence days after he was stabbed in prison last week, while further claiming that to have new evidence in the rapper's case over the shooter Megan Thee Stallion. By the way, I don't think there's any chance. I don't think there's any chance he gets pardoned. I don't think there's any chance he gets let out early. Let's just put that out there. There's absolutely no fucking chance Tory's going to get out early or get pardoned. Because one thing, again, I don't follow much of politics, but one thing I know about politics is that politicians don't usually admit fault. They don't usually hold their hands up and say, yeah, I fucked up. That'll take a lot. That'll take a lot for Gavin Newsom to hold his hands up and say, yeah, they got it wrong. Come on, man. That's not going to happen, man. That's not going to happen. He's not coming out of prison anytime soon. It's obviously good for his PR, I think. It's good for his image, Tory, because if this gets out, it kind of makes Megan look like a liar. It makes Tory look like the good guy because he took the fucking sentence on the chin. He didn't say, no, whatever. But I don't think I think there's less than 0% chance that he comes out of prison early. I think he's doing his whole time there, personally. LANEZ, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, currently serving a 10-year sentence after he was convicted of the firearm charges of the 2020 shooting, which left Megan, whose real name is Megan Meat, or Megan Pete, I think, not Megan Meat, wounded with the bullet fragments in the foot. Meat told the, or is her name Meat? I think it's Meat. I think it's Pete. Meat told, or Megan Thee Stallion told the court that Peterson had shouted "Dance, bitch, dance" before shooting her. Peterson pleaded not guilty in the trial and is appealing the sentence. Yeah, he should have done more during the trial. If that's me and I didn't shoot somebody, I'm fighting tooth and nail. Whatever it means, me taking a stand, whatever it may do. I don't think TORY did enough to kind of fight his case. I think he thought the evidence would kind of speak for itself, and obviously that didn't help. And I think obviously his lawyers were pretty shit. And because everybody, I think the majority of the internet, let's be real, unless you're properly wedded into the Megan Thee Stallion camp, I think most neutral observers were surprised when he got found guilty. Like that, I mean, were surprised. I think most YouTubers were surprised. It's also another thing that's interesting too. Like, as much as TORY does make some good tunes here and there, it's interesting how much of a diehard fan base they both have in it, despite not being that popular. No, not being popular, despite not being that amazing. Either artist. TORY's alright, cool. Megan's alright. She has her moments, but I just find it funny how there's like TORY Lanez camps and Megan Thee Stallion camps when it comes to this sort of thing, and they're very, they're very wedded. They're very fucking to their ideas of who's guilty and who isn't, and no amount of convincing is ever going to make them change their mind. No amount of new evidence is ever going to make them change their mind. And it's just like, these guys aren't even that amazing for you to be standing them. Like, why are you standing Megan Thee Stallion and TORY Lanez? Okay. During a press conference held by the Petersons' legal team, Unite the People in downtown Los Angeles on Wednesday, the rapper's father, Sunstar Peterson, said his son was airlifted to hospital on Monday to treat his injuries, but that he's healing remarkably well following the unprovoked attack. California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation confirmed Peterson was stabbed on Monday morning at 7:20 a.m., further stating that the authorities have launched an investigation into the incident. Peterson reps and said that he was stabbed 14 times, including 7 wounds to his back, 4 to his torso, 2 to the side, 2 to the back of his head, and both his lungs had collapsed. Sunstar Peterson said on Wednesday that Peterson also stabbed under the left cheekbone and that his jaw was open. Ugh. Peterson's breathing on his own again, Sunstar Peterson said. So he's going to come out of that prison with some real battle scars, isn't it? God damn it. And if anything, even if what Megan Thee Stallion did was bad and she was wrong, blah, 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 which obviously some people would say, I would say that, you still have to think to yourself, like, this is all because TORY just couldn't control himself, innit? No composure. It wasn't enough that he was fucking Kelsey. He also fucked Megan. Then when he goes to the house of Kylie, he tries to fuck Kylie while Megan and fucking Kelsey are there. He just did too much, He just did way too much, and in the end, he paid the ultimate price. He was on the highest of the highs at one point. Imagine being in a fucking swimming pool with Kelsey, Megan Thee Stallion, and Kylie Jenner, and then suddenly, a few weeks after, you're in fucking prison for 10 years. Peterson's rep said that Newsom should get Peterson released, citing the stabbing, noting that if he's not pardoned and released promptly, he may never get out. Sunstar Peterson called upon both Newsom and President Trump to take the action during the speech. Unite the People said they hadn't contacted Gavin Newsom's office beyond making the call during Wednesday's press conference. Aside from the health update, both Sunstar Peterson and other representatives of Peterson's had reportedly stated that the rapper was never given a fair trial, and claimed the prosecutors manipulated evidence to reach a conviction, specifically calling out LA County District Attorney George Gascon. Again, these people aren't going to change their mind, because I can't remember the last time a politician has outwardly admitted fault for anything, or taken responsibility, or changed their mind. They don't do that. They double down, they triple down, they obfuscate. Do you know what I mean? They ignore. Like, they don't never admit fault. So it'd take a real crazy situation for this person to just finally decide, you know what, I fucked up, the state fucked up, we fucked up, whatever, we're gonna change this fucking conviction, we're gonna squash it. I just don't think it's happening. TORY ain't getting out. His team claimed to have received new evidence, with Walter Roberts, who Unite the People CEO Cesar McDowell said was the team's lead consultant, stating that a man named Bradley James had approached the organization a few months ago, claiming to be the bodyguard of Pete's former friend Kelsey Harris. Okay, it's a bodyguard during the trial. A bodyguard of Kelsey during the trial. Harris was in the car with Peterson and Pete during the incident. Roberts claimed the bodyguard had heard conversation in which Harris said that she fired the gun while Megan knocked the gun down. No, sorry, yeah. So she said, so the bodyguard is claiming that Kelsey said she fired the gun while Tory is the one that knocked the gun down. James was not among the speakers of the press conference. Roberts said the team hasn't gone to current DA Nathan Hodgson's office about the claims yet. Pete's attorney, Alex Spiro, disputed Peterson's team's new claims in a statement. Bloody hell, man. Do you know how reckless you have to be? Do you know how reckless you have to be while you're on trial, while you're giving evidence, while you're in court, to be talking about the details of what happened and who did what? Surely that's one of the things that you don't do. Like, not even in the Uber, nothing. Like, while you're on trial, you don't start, I'll get on the phone, oh man, court was fucking hard, man. I had to lie so much today. I can't believe they fucking believed it. No, you don't do that. You just keep quiet. You keep your mouth fucking quiet outside the courtroom. Or unless you've been fucking spoken to by law enforcement or whatever it may be, or your legal counsel, surely you don't go blabbering your mouth open in the backseat of your fucking car service talking about how you actually shot the person. This Kelsey girl, man, what a dum-dum. But I guess she probably thought she was a bit untouchable because she got an immunity deal, innit? So she got some sort of immunity deal that basically prevented her from getting charged. So I guess that maybe made her feel emboldened or something. Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer said as follows: statement, Tory Lanez was tried and convicted by a court of his peers, and this case was properly adjudicated through the court system. This is not a political matter. This is a case for a violent assault that was resolved in the court of law. So Alex Spiro is standing on business. He's doubling down on his stance about it. It's just an unfortunate situation for Megan Thee Stallion, because what it basically does is that it all but kind of it all but just fucks up your career, because now she's never going to be rid of this case, she's never going to move on from this, because deep down people think there was a miscarriage of justice. Deep down people feel like Tory was wronged. It's not that people don't believe that she was shot in some way, or that she got the injuries that she got. People just don't believe the way that she presented what happened, and that is basically a lie, you would imagine, because she said on camera, she said in a courtroom that Tory shot her, and so far there's no evidence that he did. I think I read something about there's no DNA, there's none of Tory's DNA on the gun itself. No one actually saw him shoot her directly. It was just he said, she said sort of thing. And that whole dance bitch dance thing, no one heard that either. So what happened? Who knows? But there is a petition out there to sign, I guess it's to reverse something. I don't know what the petition is for, but let me quickly read it here. It says Tory Lanez. There we go. Here, there's a petition. Bear with me a second here. A bunch of people have shared it as well. I think I saw a picture or a post of Drake. Obviously, famously, Chris Brown shared this petition, and then he promptly got arrested in the UK. So maybe be careful of signing these change.org petitions. But the title is Pardon Tory Lanez, urge Governor Newsom to correct a deep injustice. Daystar Peterson, professionally known as Tory Lanez, is currently serving a 10-year prison sentence. What his legal team described as overwhelming evidence, prosecutorial misconduct, missing forensic data, and politically motivated sentencing. We, the undersigned, urge Governor Newsom to issue a pardon. According to Lanez's attorney, the conviction was not properly supported by conclusive physical evidence. Notably, no DNA belonging to Lanez was found in the magazine of the firearm. Gunshot residue was detected on both Lanez and Kelsey Harris, yet only Lanez's DNA was tested. Sworn affidavits and eyewitness accounts have contradicted prosecutor's narrative, were ignored or suppressed. She got that immunity and never looked back in it, that Kelsey girl. How can gunshot residue be found on you but you don't get prosecuted for this shit? Crazy, isn't it? Among the presented claims, Lanez's legal team cites a sworn affidavit from bodyguards stating that Harris allegedly admitted to firing the gun into the air before Lanez intervened. Additionally, an independent eyewitness, a neighbor with no connection to any party, testified that he saw two women fighting and that the shots came from the passenger side of the vehicle. By the way, just to put it out there, both of these girls are losers, innit? Kelsey more so. Imagine wanting to shoot your former best friend because they're sleeping with the guy that you're also dating. Surely you should be shooting the guy, innit? Why are you trying to shoot the girl? Surely you should be shooting the guy. I understand it's a betrayal because it's your best friend, but trying to kill your friend over some guy is kind of insane. You have to be honest. Like, it's kind of insane if what they're alleging has happened. It's kind of insane that Kelsey girl was trying to shoot Megan, like, because what? She found out that LANEZ was fucking both of them. Surely TORY should one being shot, not her. Additionally, an independent eyewitness, a neighbor with no connection to any party, testified that he saw two women fighting and that the shots came from the passenger side of the vehicle where Harris was seated. Yet again, only TORY's DNA was tested. Despite having no prior record of violence, Lane was sentenced to a decade in prison. His attorney argued this is largely due to sentencing enhancements typically reserved for most dangerous offenders, enhancements that former district attorney had dropped. God almighty. Absolutely crazy. So let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to make any change personally. I think it's a little bit too little too late. But let's see. You never know. Let's see. You never fucking know. Let's move on and let's do a little bit of an update. No, let's just do an update with Kirsty here. Let's do this one. This update, Kirsty, FESIFY 50% response to the Chris Brown jailed in the UK situation. So I actually want to hear this. I want to see what 50 Cent had to say about it. So big up FESIFY, one of the best UK channels to cover some of this sort of stuff. Obviously, you guys know that Chris Brown's been arrested in the UK for an assault that happened, I think, in 2023. He got denied bail, so he's going to be sitting in the UK prison until I think June 13th when his court hearing is for. His next court hearing is for. Kind of wild because I think he was in the UK in preparation for a tour. And he got nabbed in Manchester, and now he hasn't been out since. Crazy. He arrived in the private jet, and now he's in the prison cell somewhere. Madness.
I don't think anyone was expecting Chris Brown in a prison van on his way to a UK jail this summer. Chris Brown is allegedly going to be held.
But I don't know if that's an actual updated mugshot. They keep using that mugshot. I use it for the cover of Taz, but I'm not sure if that's an updated mugshot because usually in the UK they don't really release mugshots like that. It's not like in the US where people can leak mugshots or get paid for them. It doesn't happen as often, so I'm not sure if that's even an actual updated mugshot. I swear he had blonde hair. I saw he dyed his hair blonde before he left. I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging, but I'm not sure if that's even up to date.
In either HMP Forest Bank or Strangeways prison after being denied bail recently, and many people that know him are not happy. 50 Cent spoke out on his Instagram saying, "Damn, they're doing Chris Brown dirty. They knew about this case for 2 years. This is going to F up the whole tour. What the F is going on?" After it said Chris Brown is ordered to remain in custody.
But to be fair, it's not his fault. Sorry. It's not the fault of the UK government or police that his tour is going to get messed up. It's Chris Brown's fault. They're saying that he was asked to voluntarily go to the police station and give evidence, talk about what happened, right? They said alleged assault. He didn't do that. He basically went back home and kind of forgot about it or just ignored them. Then I guess a year later, or 2 years later, he tries to come back thinking everything is sweet and he gets arrested. The only really scumbaggy thing about this, to be fair, if you're Chris Brown, you feel a little bit pissed off. From what I read online, they're saying the son are the one that called the police to get him nicked. Basically, the son snitched on Chris Brown. It wasn't like the police were waiting for him to arrive in the UK. They didn't even know. They weren't even alerted. The son told them, hey, Chris Brown's in the UK and doesn't he have this fucking case about this assault in a nightclub? And then the police were like, oh yeah, shit. And then they went to arrest him. So he probably is in his rights to feel pissed off and feel like he's been fucking targeted and shit. And this is a bit unjust, whatever. But if he would have dealt with it when it happened, it just went to the police station and dealt with it how it kind of transpired, whether it would have meant him doing the same thing he's doing now in 2023, it would have been fine because it would have allowed the tour to go on, because this tour is pretty extensive. I think it goes from, like, I think I said before, I think it goes from the whole of June into August, then stops and restarts to get in October in North America. So it's a pretty long tour. It's a lot of money on the line, a lot of fucking investors, a lot of fucking, a lot of fans all over the world who are also kind of eager to see him play. A lot of money to be made. Like, this is good. If he does go to prison off the back of this might financially ruin him. I'm not gonna lie. This is like the worst time to get arrested, like during a fucking worldwide tour that you haven't even started yet. You're like, ugh.
After his arrest in England, the singer was charged with grievous body harm over the 2023 incident in London. He was ordered to remain in custody till at least June 13th. People were saying that Bow Wow is a good friend of Chris Brown as well, and he spoke about it on TikTok, and he believes that Chris Brown will be home real soon, but we're going to get into why that may not be the case.
Yo, they got way too crazy. My anxiety started kicking in. I had to take a break. I'm going to the movies with my auntie. That's how I really got it. I ain't been to the movies in so long, so I'm really, really excited about this. On another note, free Breezy, free Breezy, free Breezy. I know we're going to yell it until that actually happens. It's an unfortunate situation. You know, my man went over to Manchester to start rehearsal for the tour for the Breezy Bowl. And, you know, I won't let my dog be great. But one thing I do know, he'll be out in no time. He'll be back doing what he do best.
I wouldn't believe anything Bauer says. What does Bauer know? What information is Bauer privy to that would say he's going to be home very soon? It says June 13th. They denied him bail, and they said June 13th. So they could have easily let him out and took his passport, but they didn't. They kept him in there for a reason. So I don't think he's coming home anytime soon. I'm not gonna lie.
Like I said, man, my dog ain't bothered nobody. Man, that man been out the media, out the press for a minute. You know what I mean? He just wanna tour, please his fans, and take care of his kids. You know what I mean? Life is so simple. It really is. So shout out to my boy Brown. Hold your head, and we got you. You know what I mean?
A well-educated lawyer on TikTok had said...
What does that do, really? What does that do? You'd rather he not say anything, innit? I know he's probably Chris Brown's actual real friend, but what does that even do for him? Hold your head. No. Like, I'm in prison in the UK. Like, I came here to make money and to dance on stage for my fans. And to maybe hook up with some fucking UK baddies. I didn't come here to sit in this fucking cell surrounded by fucking pedos and shit and like murderers and whatnot. Like, why am I in here? You're not helping, Bow Wow.
Even Chris Brown serving that 1 month and then going for them court dates, he could be dragged into an ordeal. There could be loads of different things set up, like a trial, stuff with pleas. There could be a long process ahead, making him miss more of this tour than people are expecting. The UK justice system obviously want him behind bars for this alleged GBH, and the Crown Prosecution Service are really going to embarrass themselves if they don't come up with anything here.
Cancel those Chris Brown tickets because he's in a big mess. Here's what you need to know. He's been charged with Section 18 GBH, which is grievous bodily harm. His case has been sent to the Crown Court on the 13th of June. He's been remanded into custody, which is he's in prison now until that date. What does that mean for you? If he doesn't get bail, he will have to stay in prison until his trial date. Now, trial dates can be anything as long as into next year because of the court delays. Can he make a bail application? Yes. He has one chance to make a bail application at the Crown Court, which he can do at any point. He doesn't have to wait until the 13th. Will he get bail? There will be a strong fear that he will fail to surrender because he travels from country to country and he's from America. So there will be concerns about that. So that will have to be addressed in any bail application, which may restrict what he's able to do for a tour. If he gets convicted of this, you can face up to life imprisonment, but realistically, in these circumstances, he's looking at anything between 3 and 9 years. What does that mean for you?
Fucking hell. Oh my God. Surely after this, if you're Chris Brown, you have to fire your team and you have to go and do some serious anger management classes. You have to really sort your shit out. Because he clearly has, unless there's because I haven't heard still, we haven't heard what the fight was about. The person that got assaulted is alleging that he was just standing at the bar and Chris Brown hit him over the head with a champagne bottle and then started to beat him up and chased him outside, and him and his friend rushed him. I don't believe that person. I don't think people just get beat up out of nowhere, out of the blue in nightclubs. Something happened prior. Maybe he shafted Chris Brown for some money. Maybe they had some beef. Maybe it was over a girl, whatever, but they probably knew each other before, and you don't just beat people up randomly in a club. But if Chris Brown did beat this guy up randomly in a club, he needs help. Because look at what it's costing him. Look at what anger does. Look at what fucking not having your emotions in check does to you. not having your anger in check, in control. Look at what it does. He now potentially might be in prison for 3 years, 3 to 9 years. And this could have all been dealt with and probably smoothed over back in 2023 if he would have surrendered to the police and went and gave evidence. Maybe he could have gave the kid some money. Maybe he would have had to sit down for a year or something. That would have been better than doing it now before a tour starts. Like, he really does need to sort himself out, because I still think it's kind of insane. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's really insane as an artist to go to another country and just be fighting people in nightclubs. Like, that's insane. Like, like, you don't know who anybody is. You don't know how anybody's rolling. Yes, I know we don't have guns here, but people are still on stuff in this country. Why would you do that to yourself when you're a celebrity of his kind of level? But maybe he's just about that life. Maybe what I am not understanding is that Chris Brown is more akin to, like, Chris Brown he's more similar to fucking DMX than John Legend, you know? Maybe that's what I'm confusing. Maybe Chris Brown just sings because he can sing, but really he's got a bit more of DMX energy about him, you know? He's a real crash out. He's a real guy. He's a crash out guy. He's gonna stand there and swing the whole club, you know? He's gonna ride out on his ops. Bareface. No bally, no nothing. Just go and ride out on his ops and shit. That's what he's really about. Even though he sings, he's got that high pitched voice, and he looks the way he does, and all the girls love him. Deep down, he's a gangster inside. Because God Almighty, this is absolutely nuts.
If I were you, I would air caution and probably try to get a refund on the tickets, because it doesn't really look good. Or you can wait and see what happens at his next bail application. If I was his team, I would have checked with the UK authorities before he arrived here about the circumstances, because this happens in 2023, so potentially this could have been avoided.
Chris might be a priority because he's high risk in a jail. I'm not sure what kind of protection or what kind of wing he would be on. I'm sure that he will not be around normal prisoners, I would like to think, because this guy would definitely be a target. But this could be a priority, or it could just get dragged on to numerous court dates and rescheduling the trial like every country's justice.
Not gonna lie, am I mad for thinking that if I'm Chris Brown, I kind of want to be around normal people. I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be fucking isolated and shit. I kind of want to be in Gem Pop to take my mind off things. Obviously, it's going to be more. There's more risk involved in that sort of shit. But I wouldn't want to be in a wing by myself, in my cell for 22 hours a day. You know, I'd want to be around regular people to take my mind off the situation I'm in, and kind of, you know, make light of it. You know, you can't really make light of it because you're fucking in prison, but to try and make the time go by a little bit quicker or something, maybe.
The system does. Judging by the latest report on ITV News, he's going to spend at least a month in prison before he gets out, so dates may have to be rescheduled if he is bailed at that next hearing.
At the Lowry Hotel in Manchester, his legal team argued for bail, which was refused, and then he was taken back into custody. His next due date in court is on June the 13th in Southwark. That was partway through his tour. He was meant to be appearing in Frankfurt that night. There has been no announcement, but clearly the UK and Irish legs of that tour will have to be cancelled.
And things again.
And allegedly, I think the guy who's got hit, I think he also wants money. I think I heard something about 20 mil or something like that. I'm not sure how he's going to do that, but allegedly that's part of it too.
A little bit more complicated now, as a second man has been charged in the connection with the alleged assault at that London nightclub. It says US national, an artist known as Hoodie Baby, will appear at Manchester Magistrates Court, later charged with grievous body harm with intent, the Metropolitan Police said. Brown 36 appeared.
So basically, he's shooter. One of Chris Brown's shooters is also involved, and he's arrested too. So I'm assuming he's part of the entourage that was with Chris Brown in Manchester. So he's also been charged for this. God Almighty, bro. Police never forget. The police never forget.
At the same court on the same charge Friday and was remanded into custody. Probably be the same thing for this guy as well. His friend is being charged. It's actually wild, guys, because when doing research on this guy Hoodie Baby, this friends with Chris Brown, he was arrested on June 23rd 2019 in Miami Beach after an altercation at TORY nightclub. According to police reports, he struck a couple after a woman splashed water in his face, causing injuries, and officers found cocaine and marijuana in his possession during the arrest, and he was charged with battery, disorderly.
Oh, so he's Drake's shooter and also his dealer. So this is this who's that guy? That guy from the UK, Starino. There's a guy in the UK called Starino who hangs around with loads of fucking celebrities in the US. I think he's hanging around with Chris Brown actually. And he's actually like allegedly he's like a de facto undercover dealer type of guy, you know, fixer, connector type of dude. So I'm assuming this hood baby is that. He doubles up as maybe muscle, a bit of a shooter dude, you know, can throw down, but also he's the guy that's carrying all the gear. So when Chris Brown gets nabbed, he's never got anything on him. That makes sense. This is Chris Brown's chubs. This is Chris Brown's chubs.
Contact and possession of cocaine, and now he's been charged with grievous bodily harm in this UK situation. One thing I will say on this whole case is that they're saying there is CCTV, so the police might have got a hold of that straight away if the guy reported it the same night. They've got some evidence on this guy, and a lot of the Americans are actually happy about this, saying for one, Chris Brown is not untouchable. You can't just pay a bond.
I just don't don't girls like this guy? Don't girls like Chris Brown? Aren't girls like in love with him? Surely in nightclubs, Chris Brown gets a lot more attention from women than most guys ever get. He's probably inundated with people just like being all over him. What time do you have to be angry to be fighting dudes? I get maybe you can maybe fight a dude because you might be fucking his girlfriend. I get it. But you should be in a different headspace. You should have a different type of energy about you. When you walk into a club as Chris Brown and you know that all the girls are there to see you, it should be like a celebration, you know, of you, of them. Like, it shouldn't be like this. This would make more sense if you're a drill artist or something, right? This makes way more sense because your music kind of, you know, has a sort of vibe around it. There's way more boys there, way more men there, way more, you know, testosterone there, toxic masculinity, whatever else is there. But Chris Brown's in a club surrounded by girls wearing tight dresses and high heels, and he's out here like bottling, man. Like, what?
Like in America, and get out, he's being held accountable. Listen to this TikToker from America.
Now, what's crazy is that the UK justice system is doing what the American justice system could never do. Hold Chris Brown accountable without bail. Now, shout out to Say Cheese GGTL for the mugshot, because y'all really came through clutch. Now, they stated that Chris Brown had been arrested for smashing a tequila bottle over the head of a music producer in the UK in 2023.
By the way, tequila bottles are usually kind of thick, so that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Tequila bottles kind of thick. That's gotta hurt.
And they have this on CCTV. Now, Chris Brown was he still is in Manchester because he begins his UK tour dates beginning in the Netherlands. But that's not going to happen. And if you bought tickets to see him in the UK, that's not happening either. And for the pick-me's in the comments, this is Chris Brown's own doing. Because how you got all this money and all of this big, large team, and you don't got nobody checking to see if you got warrants out for your arrest in other countries? Because it happened in 2023, I'm just going to assume that Chris Brown thought, I'm untouchable. But federal prosecutors in Manchester had another thing coming. Now, if you do have tickets to go see Chris Brown in the UK, you're going to have to contact Ticketmaster to see if you can get your tickets back or see if they're going to get pushed to a later date. But according to Manchester prosecutors, he's not getting out of jail anytime soon. So if you do have tickets to go see him, good luck. And if you already saw him, well, that's great. And before you get on the internet attempting to defend this man, Chris Brown did this to himself. He also did it on CCTV, so there's no denying his level of abuse.
Listen, he has a...
I don't know. It's just, yeah, I guess she's right. I guess she's got a point. I think the team thing, it should have been dealt with in 2023. Maybe the team to like keep him up to date with his previous convictions and to deal with it before he went to, that's a bit, you know, maybe it's a bit harsh to judge them, but I think the team, whoever it is, should have dragged this guy kicking and screaming back to the UK to answer the police's questions when it happened, when they requested him to go to the police station. He should have taken it seriously. That's assault. That isn't you fucking speeding. This is not a speeding ticket, right? This is not him smashing up a hotel and getting fined and not paying it. This is GBH, you know, this is a criminal offense. He should have went back to the UK and dealt with it in 2023. When it happened, not years later. So you can understand why the courts are being so cautious and denying him bail, because he didn't come back the first time, right? So they don't believe he's going to come back. They don't believe if they let him on bail, he'd come back. And most likely, let's be honest, if he did get released on bail, he would have went straight back to the US. He would have ran back, you know what I mean? So I get why they're doing what they're doing.
Massive fan base and is very talented, but some people, because of that Rihanna situation or other things, will just never like him. Right now is early days.
Hey, big up Abe Martinez. Apologies for that. I don't know why your thing didn't come through. Big up Abe Martinez. Thank you for a super chat. Insecurity big because he sings. Dudes think he's soft. Yeah, that's true. On both sides, isn't it? Dudes think Chris Brown is soft because he sings and looks the way he does. Mixed race guy, pretty face and shit. Pretty boy, sorry, style thing. But then he also overcompensates because he thinks everyone thinks that. You know? Like, that's probably what happens. Like, he also overcompensates. So it's like, you know, both parties are going into it a little bit crazy, but I don't know. I just think personally it's nuts. Let me see if I can replay this TT. I don't know why I didn't play it. But big up Abe Martinez. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for the super chat. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up.
But this situation could get a lot worse. He's only missing out on a few days. Like I said, he has to stay in jail to June 13th. Regardless, he's...
There you go. You play? Does it play now? Cool. Don't know why I didn't play. Did you see it? Okay, cool. I don't know what happened there. But big up everyone saying anyway. I appreciate you.
Got a tour in Amsterdam June 8th. He's got the Germany show June 11th and another one in Germany June 13th. That's 3 dates he's missing out on. If he manages to somehow get out on the June 13th, he could reschedule them dates and save this entire thing. If not, he's going to lose out on a massive amount of money and reschedule this whole thing. You got to remember, there's people to pay with tours. There's things set up with the venue. He could lose a lot of bread out of this situation. Just stay posted to the channel because we'll keep you updated. There's a lot going on right now. He's an American jailed in the UK, and right now there's a UK girl jailed in Georgia for a techie situation over TikTok. She was posting and self-snitching. That's my last video. Make sure you guys check that out next.
Cool. Big up FESIFY. Big up Black Car FESIFY. Let's jump over to Tfatk Reddit quickly. See if I miss out on anything before we commence. Let's see if I miss out anything on the Tfatk Reddit. Yeah, what we missed out on here. Let's go through it. They call him Uncle Brian. Big up Uncle Brian. Let's see this one. They call him Uncle Brian.
Time.
So zoom in a little bit here.
I didn't like the fact I saying Tiger's fucking absolute bomb and you didn't respond back. And
I didn't mean...
I responded back and went,
hey man. And it dawned, I felt bad because I saw it and then I got distracted.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's amazing. I'm late to the game. Sorry.
Too late.
I know.
A day late.
Sending your friend a clip of your son playing baseball and then expecting them to reply and congratulate you on how badass, quote unquote, your son is redacted, isn't it? Imagine how much Brendan would take the piss out of Brian if Brian did that to him. If Brian sent a clip of his son, I don't know, in the theater or something and told him, oh my God, look, my son's first recital or my son's first fucking, you know, Shakespearean play or whatever, he wouldn't like that at all. You know, he'd really take the piss out of that. So I find it interesting how Brennan's out here sending clips of Boston or Tiger, whatever the kid is, playing baseball to him and expecting him to respond right then and then pulling him up on it on the podcast. Wow. It's already bad enough that he makes Brian sit there and listen to his like coaching stories. He makes Brian sit there and listen to his fucking pickup truck obsession that he has now, right? This new fucking personality he has, and now he even torments Brian on his days off when he's not on Tfatk. Brendan's still fucking tormenting him with, you know, Tiger's fucking rec league plays and his pitches and his bats. It's like, come on, man, give the guy a break, man. Give Rinks a break.
They don't. It's over.
Boy, he hit that ball.
He hit that fucking ball. He hit that ball.
Yeah, that was
playoff start today. He has his first game today.
They must be running out of topics, isn't it? Really, because it was one. I don't think he even spoke about his kids that much when he was doing stand up. You know, they didn't really exist in his word too much when he was doing stand up. He didn't really talk about them that much. But now that he's not doing stand up anymore, and he's like a regular dad. Suddenly now he can't fucking shut up about his kids in the most boring way possible. It's not even like he's talking or he's mentioning cool stories, self-deprecating stories, right? Or just like really nice, heartwarming stories. It's just about the baseball thing. It's about this relentless pursuit to ensure that Tiger becomes an MLB professional player and gets a big fucking fat contract that him and fucking Joanna can enjoy. That's what it feels like. It's not even like let him learn a new skill. Let him get, you know, I don't know, work on his fucking coordination work, just hang around friends and shit. grow up a little bit, learn what it is to, you know, do hard work, suffer pain. No life lessons. They just want him to get good enough to sign for a pro team so that they can make big money off his contract. That's what it feels like anyway. It's kind of sad, really. No caption needed.
For a while.
Because there's lawyers that have to defend like Ted Bundy, although he represented himself, but like Jeffrey Dahmer, shit like that. Why even have a lawyer?
Well, you get a public defender.
Some hire real guys.
Yeah, man. It's
What?
it's an interesting thing. I actually come to think of it, I have 3 friends who one of whom.
By the way, do you know what's that? Why is that not working? Big up Young God Vibes for the. I don't know why my thing's not working, but big up Young God Vibes. Free Breezy, take AZ instead is fucking insane. I understand why you're saying that, but it's fucking insane. Actually, let me try and I'm gonna try and take off the notifications and see if it works. Let me delete it. Bear with me 1 second. Let me delete this notification thing. Maybe it needs to be removed. Let me remove it. No, sorry, no. Let me delete it. And let's see, maybe that might help. Is it AP? Yeah, boom. Let's do it one more time. Browser. NT. Okay. Bear with me a second here while I get this to work. Hopefully it should work. Bear with me 1 second here. Bish bash bosh. Press OK. Let's make this a bit smaller. Let's put this over there.
Powerful bunch.
Free Breezy, take Oz instead.
Yeah, there
Red
you go.
heart emoji.
Now it's working. It started to work as soon as Young God Vibes insulting and disrespectful fucking Stono came in. Suddenly it started working. Weird how that happens, isn't it? Young God Vibes sends a very insulting and disrespectful Dono in, and then suddenly it starts to work again. Absolutely crazy.
Powerful bunch.
Free Breezy, take Oz instead. Red heart emoji.
Yeah. Whatever. Let's play Abe Martinez one as well. Big up Abe Martinez.
Powerful bunch. Powerful bunch.
Okay, it's not. Yeah, big up Abe Martinez. Big up Young God Vibes. Actually, don't big up Young God Vibes. Big up only Abe Martinez. Let's not big up Young God Vibes for insulting me and wishing jail on me. Brent says Texas is great for cars.
On the side.
You're going to acclimate to Texas so fast.
I was born for it.
Well, yeah, you're not going to look back. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Rogan says. He goes, I give it 3 months and you're going to go, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner.
Yeah. There's no
I said, I hope you're right. He goes, I am.
Yeah.
He was in cars. All the car stuff. He's like, buddy.
Yeah.
He was waiting to introduce people.
You're moving to the mecca of all of it.
Yeah.
So I did that video when I was in Texas, and we were all set to go to my friend Tim's house and have a little barbecue. And, well, we had to turn around because the hail was hitting.
The helicopter?
Oh. No, it was hitting my car, and it was going to damage the car. It was hail in the summertime, practically.
Huh? What? Okay, whatever. Let's see what happens. Supposedly it's meant to be this Texas is where Texas is different. Texas is such a different place to make car content. It's gonna level up things for Brendan. He's gonna go to a whole different place in Texas to make these car content. Let's see. Bean Dip has revised his Fear Factor reboot host story. Oh, this is good. This should be good. Do you guys remember one of the best lies Brendan did was when he was one of the funniest lies, not best lies, a funny lie, it's a shitty lie because obviously no one believed it. But Brendan, for some reason, there was a time when Brendan thought he was legitimately going to be like the heir apparent. He was going to replace Rogan or something. I don't know why he thought that, by the way. I'm trying to think about why. But Brendan's delusional, Rogan's delusional too, but Brendan just got delusional sense of self. He for some reason thought he was the next guy. I don't even know if there needs to be a next guy. Like, there is no, who's talking about the next guy? I don't know what the next guy is anyway, but for some reason Brendan thought he was going to walking fucking Rogan's footsteps. So he said one time that he was actually in the running to be the host of the rebooted Fear Factor, the famous show that Rogan hosted back in the day with all the challenges and shit, right? Sorts like a reality TV show type of thing. And he said that the only reason why he didn't get it is because Ludacris got it in the end. Like, it was down to him and Ludacris, and they picked Ludacris because obviously he's the biggest celebrity, like a kind of a humble brag. And I remember at the time thinking, hold on, that can't be right. Like, we've seen what this guy does when it comes to hosting. We've seen his inability to kind of, do good interviews or just talk to people normally in terms of Food Truck Diaries. We've seen his inability to read from a teleprompter without fucking up the words or stuttering or just sounding mush-mouthed all over the place. And he's not a very entertaining, presentery type of guy anyway. It just didn't make any sense. So I guess this clip is him basically forgetting what he said originally and actually telling the truth now years later, because, you can only lie a certain amount until you kind of fuck up and expose the truth. So let's hear what the actual true story was behind that whole lie, behind being the one to be the host of the Fear Factor reboot.
So they're going to reboot Fear Factor again, and then people are talking about the possibility of Joe Rogan being on it. And you guys would know more than
if I know Joe.
The answer is absolutely not.
I know Joe.
He has all the money in the world.
Yeah.
And
look how happy they are. If I know Joe, look how happy they are that they know Joe and that they have an inkling or an insight into how he would react if they did offer him the job. Look at the excitement. Look at that glee on their faces. Like, I couldn't imagine sucking off another man like this, especially someone that's my friend. Like, I think this would be understandable. The way they act about Rogan, it'd be understandable if it was like me and I met Rogan. Imagine I become Rogan's friend nowadays, right? Like, that's something maybe you'd be excited about because, oh my God, you were a fan of his show previously. But Brian's been Rogan's friend before he was famous. He's known him. Like, that's your actual friend. Brendan's also known him. Like, you've been to his house and shit. You probably shat in his toilet. You probably hanged out with his kids, had dinner with his wife and shit. You know him as a person. Why are you still sucking him off for? Surely he should be like a regular person to you. He should be someone you'd be like looking at from up above, from down below, gazing at. Like he's this amazing person. It's like, come on, man. Come on.
they've already done this with Ludacris.
Ludacris, yeah.
You know who was in third in running to get that gig was me.
Is that right?
That's right.
Wow.
And Ludacris beat me out. Forget the second guy.
Hold on. Who was third? You wasn't third running then. Ludacris, hold on. Ludacris didn't beat. How can he be third running and Ludacris beat you out? You were beat out by the second guy, surely. Because it went down to 2. It didn't go down to final 3. It went down to final 2. And like, it doesn't work that way usually, I swear. Huh? Ludacris beat you out, but you were third. Technically, I guess Ludacris did because he got the show. But I think it would go down to the final 2. It wouldn't go down to the final 3. And I also don't believe him. Most likely what happened, the actual truth, it's a combination of him lying and maybe his agent gassing him up. Because this is around the time that he was... Because I think the original story was around the time he was also doing stuff with E and shit, innit? So maybe his original... Or maybe his CAA founder was blowing smoke up his ass and making him believe like he was in the running to do that show, but he wasn't really, you know? Just doing what basic agents, managers kind of do. Just gassing the team to kind of make you just... To make sure you don't fire them. To show the client that they have like that type of pull, you know? That could be possible. But it's still a lie.
Yeah. Fear factor. I was with Joe when he got that fucking thing. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'll never forget Fear Factor.
Oh, love it. They tried redoing it. I actually auditioned for the host for it. It's down to me and Ludacris.
Dude, you would have got so much hate for that.
Really? Oh,
dude?
I pulled myself out. I was like, oh no.
By the way, he's revised the story there. Bradley Martin calls him out and basically says something he probably never thought about the hate. And then he lies on the spot. That's a quick lie on the spot there, just improvising. Oh yeah, I'll pull myself out. No, he didn't. They picked Ludacris because Ludacris was better and probably had a better profile. But you also didn't pull yourself out of the race. You just weren't chosen. Let's be real. Pulled myself out. Noble man here, right? Self-aware Brendan. No, that's not true.
No. I didn't think I'd get it. And when they asked me, it was like, it's down to you. I'm like, told my agent, I'm like, this is a bad look, man.
Yeah,
I'm already close with Joe. Now I'm the host of
Bro, they would have fucking. They would have been like, "Oh, really, Brandon?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Fucking.
No, trust me. I saw that hate wave coming. I'm like, I'm out. Give it to Ludacris.
This is a different, like the different versions of Brendan are funny, isn't it? Look at the fashion version of Brendan, the skinny jeans, the flannel. Look at the hair, like he's such a crisis of identity, isn't it? Identity, like does he even know what he's actually into or what he actually likes? It's just wow to be like this in your mid-40s. To be in your mid-40s and to be this unaware of who you are and to be chasing identities and jumping from hobbies to hobbies and trying to make your identity based on those type of things. And it's just a weird place to be, man. Weird place to be. Really weird place to be. But hey, that's Papa for you. Chin saying goodbye to Thick Boy Studios. We've seen that already. Malik, we've seen that already. Papa has a type. We've seen that already. Cool. Let's get into Tfatk. Let's get into Tfatk. Okay, yeah. There's also there's a new Bert Kreischer podcast actually with his dad. We might have to watch a bit of that actually later on. Let's see some interesting sections here. They put timestamps, thankfully. What have we got here? Anything interesting we could probably check out here? Maybe check out Bert's Birth 26 here. Maybe that might be Bert and Money. Maybe might be interesting. And that's about it. But yeah, there's a podcast with Bert and his dad. I'm sure Podcast Cringe is going to go through this and tear it apart. But yeah, there's a podcast with Bert Kreischer and his dad. I guess Al Kreischer or AI Kreischer. I don't know, whatever it is. But let's get into Tfatk. Where is Tfatk? Let's get into Tfatk. Big up everybody in the stream chat that's chilling. Make sure if you're enjoying the show that you smash the like button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. There we go. There's Tfatk. Let's go.
Yes, we did, 'cause we back at it again. It's the fighter and the kid.
This is really the fighter and the kid.
I'm literally talking about East of Eden. I'm trying to talk about Steinbeck.
Well, Tim brought up a picture of Michael Jordan
and his beautiful wife, and then
she's Latina.
I'm literally I'm breaking down a chapter from one of the great classics, and Brendan goes, "I'd like to see both hands on that big old pipe, just working it out."
Motorbike.
I'm like, hey, I'm trying to
give it an Indian rub burn, baby.
No,
vámonos.
I'm trying to talk about Steinbeck.
Vámonos.
God damn it.
Ándale. Vámonos.
Ándale.
Yeah, she's pretty. You don't become the greatest.
Hopefully he's not going to keep saying that the whole entire pod. Hopefully he's not going to say that. Hopefully. Please, God. Please don't make that a new powerful bunch. Please don't make Vamonos a new powerful bunch. Please.
At anything and not have just an absolute dime.
Well, that's right. He is the thing about being Michael Jordan. She's just. Let me see that again. Let me see. Bring her. She's just impossible.
It's distracting.
Sometimes it's just.
Think of her shoe collection.
Which one, bro?
Click on that right where your mouse is.
That's Pippin.
Yeah.
No. Never mind. Get that Warlock off of there.
Yeah.
Hey, go back. Go back to that.
She is just
Warlock. I swear Joanna kind of looks like Larsa Pippin, or she would look like that when she gets older. Warlock, you know.
She's just something else.
Yeah. Oh no, boo.
And you know when you're Michael Jordan, you win. Like it's like if you have an argument, it's like why are you arguing? Well, I'm the greatest.
You win at life. Also, don't wear that baggy of a shirt. But
I can wear anything he wants. He's the greatest of all time.
He's gonna start doing commentating for I think NBC, which is gonna be strange.
I'm surprised he hasn't done more of that.
Oh, sir, he's still the richest NBA player in the world.
He's the richest. When
you have all that money, it's like Rogan. Why isn't he doing Fear Factor?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Isn't Shaq?
You're right.
Michael Jordan destroys.
But isn't that a recession indicator though? Didn't they say that, right? Michael Jordan host, Michael Jordan presenter, right? I saw something online. Presenter. Let's see this. I think I saw it online somewhere. There we go. NBC hires. Yeah, there we go. NBC hires Michael Jordan for. Let's get this going. So this is the one, right? Bear me a second. Actually, we'll let it load and we'll come back to it.
Jordan brand?
I know, but Shaq's in the billions.
Well, Michael Jordan.
You ever seen what Jordan makes?
Michael Jordan owns. So Nike, he gets a piece of, I believe, every shoe.
No, not every shoe. Jumpman. It's their number one selling shoe.
Yeah. And he gets a sizable chunk of that.
Yeah, every year he's like top 3 on Forbes athletes that make the most money.
Yeah.
He's a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
Sure.
Supposed to be pretty good
As
at
he
it.
said, you know.
But if you have that money, it's like when they're like, "Oh, Dana White has a gambling problem." Oh, does he?
He also wins a lot because he's so
well. They win a lot, but even if let's say he lost 50 mil, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They're a different league.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have the answers for you right now.
Yeah, but back to the whole. I'd love to see them two go at it.
Yeah, to be a fly on the wall.
Get Ilya and
somebody said that. Somebody said if we could be, if you could be invisible, what would human beings use it for? And this guy
I'd watch Michael Jordan fuck.
Guys like, well, we'd be crouching masturbators and we watch celebrities fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you ready? So Jordan's net worth is 3.5 billion.
Jesus.
And Shaquille's is at around 100. I'm sorry, 3.5 billion, and Shaquille's is at 100 billion.
I don't think he's at 100 billion.
Yeah, but doesn't CC Brendan was saying that Jordan's more. It doesn't Shaquille O'Neal have bare businesses as well? Doesn't he own like a bunch of franchises? Right? Let's see Shaquille. What? Shaquille O'Neal. Let's see wealth. Let's do wealth. Someone must have the chart. Doesn't he own a bunch of things like franchises and shit? I'm sure he does. That's probably why he's got all that money. But off the top of my head, I would also think he would be worth more than Jordan because he does, you know, I would imagine, right? Let's see what it says here. This is courtesy of celebritynetworth.com. Key facts. He earned 292 million in his NBA history, right? NBA salary, I'm assuming, check. He earned 200 million from endorsements while playing for the NBA. Jesus Christus. Actually earns more money in retirement than he earned during his NBA career. Typically earns around 60 million per year. Spent his first 1 million NBA salary in 30 minutes. So what does he have in terms of businesses? I'd like to know here. Shaquille O'Neal history, arrival, blah, 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 blah. What we are saying here? He owns a Five Guys restaurant. Yeah, he owns. I don't know, off the top of my head, like if somebody asked me who is probably worth more, I would definitely say Shaq is probably worth more than Jordan because Michael Jordan doesn't seem like he does much, you know, like business wise. He's not really that, you know what I mean? As in Shaq is doing a lot of things, like he's got his fingers in a lot of pies, so I'm assuming that's a lot more reoccurring energy. That's a lot of different revenue streams that he has, reoccurring revenue streams, different type of revenue streams, blah 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 blah. They're both still super rich, don't get me wrong, but I think Shaq will probably be inch over him in that respect. It's okay. I've seen the sections here. Sorry, I keep fucking skipping because I'm a fucking idiot. And this page takes ages to load. Oh, this page is awful. So many fucking ads in between. Okay, they got his salary there. Let's scroll down. Other medias and businesses. In the early 90s, Shaq would quickly become a huge star, exploring careers in rap, film industry and appearing in Blue Chips and Kazam. He's also featured in giant roles in a number of other films. Furthermore, Shaq starred in multiple series. O'Neal has been active in the stock market and retail and real estate since 1990s. Yeah, come on. His real estate portfolio alone must be worth a lot if he was buying cribs in the 1990s. He's shown an interest in businesses world as well. In March 2019, it was announced that he would join the board of directors of Papa John's. With the job, Shaq earned 8.25 million in salary and stock over 3 years. He also invested 140,000 of his own money to buy 30% of 9-unit Papa John franchises in Atlanta. Other restaurants Shaq has been involved with involve Krispy Kreme's, Five Guys, and Auntie Anne's. What the fuck is an Auntie Anne's? What is Auntie Anne's? Is that American? What is that? It's like a diner chain. What does Auntie Anne's sell? Auntie Anne's is an American franchise chain of pretzel shops by Ann F. Beeler and husband Jonas. Oh, it's a pretzel shop. They sell pretzels. So it's like a Greg's in the United States, but it just does pretzels. Is it good? Auntie Anne's. And they got little bites as well. They got little pretzel bites and shit. I guess everything pretzel inspired. Loads of pretzel shit. Okay, fair play. Auntie Anne's. It looks kind of yummy, I'm not gonna lie. I would devour some of this. Some of the stuff I'm seeing here, I would devour. Word to DSP, fuck DSP. I would definitely devour some of this stuff here. In 2013, Shaq paid $5 million for a 1% stake in NBA Sacramento Kings. In August 2021, he sold the stake to the team so he could become a primary endorser of the online gaming company YNBAT. He sold his stake in Kings for $11 million. In 2021, O'Neal became the paid spokesperson for cryptocurrency exchange FTX. In November 2020, for bankruptcy wiping out billions of dollars, including Shaq's personal stake in the company. Ouch. So he's taking some hits. He invested in FTX. That didn't work out too well. Endorsements. He's obviously with Reebok and Pepsi and what's that? Carnival Cruise Line. Okay, cool. Real estate for many years. Shaq's prime residence is a 12. What's that? A 12-bedroom mansion in Orlando. The main home is a 35,000 square feet and it features 6,000 square foot indoor basketball court. Jesus Christ! This is what his crib looks like, yeah, or what his crib used to look like. He just doesn't live there anymore. Let's put that big screen. One of Shaq's former cribs. Look at that view. Right by the lake, blue tiles, blue roof tiles as well. Look at the swimming pool, the trees, the greenery. God damn, son. That's a nice crib. That is a very, very nice crib. I also like how it's one level as well, by the way. Oh no, there's actually two levels. The main, looks like the main unit is like one level. I'm not mad at that. Man hates stairs. Look at that in the morning, man. A cup of coffee there in the morning. Oh. I guess it's the front door entrance, right? Main stairwell there. Dining room, I'm assuming. Oof. TV's a bit too high for me. Crank my neck up, large kitchen. Looks fucking great. Look at the size of those fridges. One of the bedrooms, I'm assuming. Bathrooms. Wow. There's a bar, a winery, or whatever. Cinema room. Full basketball court. Garage, I'm assuming, right? Beautiful, man. Beautiful spot. Big up fucking Shaq. Big up blood clot Shaq.
That's not true. Well, first of all, I don't see how you. I don't.
He owns
like the likeness rights to Marilyn Monroe,
Papa John's, Marilyn Monroe. When you see the general insurance, he owns that. He owns so much shit.
No, he's not a billionaire.
Well, this actually, you might be right. This other site says 500 million.
Estimated around 500 million. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Now it said 500 million on this site.
Yeah,
the richest is like
makes sense.
Either Bezos or Elon, right? And they're like at what 40?
It's not billion? The reason you should always be skeptical.
Elon's number one. He's at like 229 billion.
Yeah.
Oh.
The reason that you should always be skeptical of that is that yes, Shaquille owns a lot, but he owns it with contingencies, meaning because he's not running the company, he has a stake in the company, and a lot of that stock that's fluctuating, it's just a different thing.
But regardless of what people say,
$500 million is a lot of money.
Stupid rich.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Stupid rich.
Yes, but he's not Elon Musk. He's not,
Well, nobody is. It's not even. It's that he's.
He's not Elon Musk. It doesn't count, right? Fuck the slobbering, the fucking sucking up of Elon is just nauseating, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Compare things to him. That's just wild.
Well, people who make fun of Elon Musk, do you know that he is literally SpaceX is at this point what they're relying on over Boeing's contract with NASA? I mean,
but you can't be the richest guy in the world and not get made fun of. It's just the way the world works. You also can't have a big dick and do 225 a bunch of times and not get made fun of. It's just.
So what? He's comparing himself to Elon then? I guess he's saying because he's awesome like Elon. That's why he gets hated. Not because he's annoying. Not because he's a liar. Not because he's a douchebag. Not because he seems like a pretty irredeemable person, right? A pretty horrible person in general, Brendan. Nope. People hate me because I've got a big dick and I can bench 225. Huh? Okay, I guess.
Hey, man.
What?
Okay.
No, I'm not saying me. I'm saying guys in general.
But I feel like you were just talking about yourself.
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
But you're right. You can't be like say 6'4" and brown with a big old dong.
No, not get
benching
roasted. No,
225 25 times.
And not get 25. What are we doing
What?
here?
No, I was throwing a number out there. I was throwing a number out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I don't know.
25
30 would be a lot.
30.
How many do you do?
You know, it is whatever.
Is it 36?
I'm at 36 right now. I'm a far cry from the last 4 to get 40. It's tough.
36.
36.
Well, 40 is where things start to. You got to be careful.
So he basically lied. By the way, there's no admission of the lie. I love that there's no admission of the lie. That he said he could do, 44 or something? Unbroken, 225. And we haven't seen him do a one time 30 even with full range, with 4 reps. It's always like, these little half reps, which is still something, but it's not what he said he can do. So, he lied again.
Right.
I'm gonna have to get on some shit to get to 40, I think.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those guys, I'm stronger than all of them combined.
Yeah, you are. You can beat them all up.
All of them in the same room, but it does not matter.
Doesn't matter. No. It doesn't matter. Because
let's see Jordan just take his girl down, though.
Okay.
Man.
Okay. Yeah. It might be, though, at this,
I wouldn't. I have no interest in seeing how Jordan fucks at all. If anything, that would ruin it. Like, what? It's like a weird thing, isn't it? I guess that's the way to kind of show that you're not homophobic, I guess, in their world. It's to kind of imagine how people are fucking other people. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I don't ever think these type of things in my head, I never, I don't know. It's just not something you think about. Maybe at most, if you're out and about and you see like a really big dude or a really small girl, it maybe flashes in your head like, what the fuck, which most people maybe haven't thought of. But I never sit there and wonder about celebrities and shit. It's not, really don't. It doesn't cross my mind at the slightest.
At his age now, he's 60. How old is he? 63? It might just be like,
Well, she's going to be doing all the work. That's
Yeah,
all
he's
I
gonna be
wanna
sitting in his
see.
chair.
Oh, no, I don't want to see his hairy asshole going up and down.
62?
Oh, no, I'd watch that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. She's doing all the work there.
Stud.
Yeah. No, I don't want to see
What a
him
stud.
doing work.
What a stud.
You think his tongue's out? Anyways, what else you got?
That's a good question.
We have fan questions
Try
today.
like this.
We do?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Got a bunch of fan questions. Thank you so much, everyone. who
Really?
reached out.
Bri got to get back
More questions.
on a plane to Texas.
Oh.
Eugene, Oregon. Doing stand up.
Oh, you're going to old Nike.
Eugene, Oregon.
Nike land.
Yes, I'm going to Eugene, Oregon. I'm going to go to
You gonna see
Olson's Run.
You going to see Cam Haines? He's
I am
up
going to
there.
see Cam Haines. He's going to come to my show.
That's my boy.
I'm excited. I love Cam.
Love him.
Hilarious.
Great dude.
Great guy. Cam Haines will be there.
We'll start with an easy one. Hey, guys, this question is for you both. If you had to pick one fight out of these to watch, which would you pick? Jones versus Aspinall, Ilya versus Islam, Jones versus Alex at light heavyweight,
Jones Aspinall.
or Tony Ferguson versus Khabib?
In
Prime Tony Ferguson.
Oh, prime Tony Ferguson, Khabib in the prime for sure.
Yeah, I still
Right
think.
now, it'd be Jones and Aspinall.
Yes.
Jones, Alex, fucking fun too, though.
Jones Alex?
Yeah, that's
Not really, because Jones wrestled.
If you just take him down,
Yeah.
yeah. But it'd be fun, factor, if he could land that one on John. But definitely Tom. That's what everyone's waiting for.
Yeah.
Islam and Topira dead last in that, though.
Yes.
Get prime Tony and Khabib. I stand by. I think Tony would have.
Is that right?
done.
Do you? I
Yeah.
think Khabib ends up getting him on his back and controlling.
That's because people forget Tony off his back was a fucking monster.
He was, but so was a lot. So was Charles Oliveira. So was.
He's all right. They're not Tony. They're not Tony.
I don't know.
They're not
about that,
Tony.
Bob.
They're not Tony. Nowhere near. And Tony can wrestle. Charles can't.
Yeah.
And Tony catches you in the transition. That's where he's special. He
still-
was so good back in the day,
he
dude.
was so good
People
back-
forget. People when he was at his prime.
I mean, he had such a run.
He was such a
Such a
boogeyman.
run. Yeah, he was
Great cardio, great striking, unconventional.
Yeah.
Great submissions, great off his back. His elbows off his back. You couldn't stay in his guard.
Yeah.
You couldn't just pin him down because you get eaten alive. So then guys would transition, then he'd catch you in submission. He was so good.
I think that Khabib was just.
And
so
he was
good.
more game. You know what he is? He was more game too. More game than Khabib.
very game.
Also, strength of schedule way better than Khabib's. Khabib's strength of schedule is like fucking Florida Atlantic. It's terrible.
Yeah, I think though that.
What did he say? Strength of schedule. What the fuck is strength of schedule? What does that mean? What's strength of schedule? Is he talking about Khabib's fights? Are you trying to say Tony whatever, Ferguson had harder fights than Khabib did? What's strength of schedule mean? Is that what he means? Huh?
Our boy Khabib was just too good at controlling your hips and your legs, and that was it. He was doing stuff at the time I don't think that people had seen. In other words,
Conor did pretty well against
yes,
it.
but that was your first look with him, right? So in other words, if you were Tony and you were training, you probably weren't exposed to that Russian or Dagestani style. Once you know what to do, so Conor brought in Dagestanis and Russians.
Yeah, but Tony,
and they said to Conor, they said, "Don't let him close his hands." If you watch, he controlled his hands.
But you can bring in Dagestani wrestlers and get used to that style. You can't bring in a guy like Tony to mimic his style. Was so unconventional.
Yeah,
it was so.
But
it was way more unconventional.
Wouldn't you say, for the most part, when you're unconventional, you get a long way, and then you meet a real technician, like a real.
Not Tony. Tony fought Anthony Pettis. These are in their prime. Kevin Lee. What he did to Kevin Lee at the height of Kevin Lee's prime, he destroyed him.
Triangle.
Edson Barboza, pretty good, yeah.
Did he beat RD? He beat Rafael dos Anjos.
In the prime, Bubba.
Deal.
In the
That's
prime.
a big deal. Edson Barboza, he fought some killers. Gleason Tebow, who's a fucking monster. Damn.
Josh Thompson was a great fight. Shout out to Josh.
Wow.
Danny Castillo was a beast. Eve Edwards, monster.
Wow.
Ramsey was tough.
A hell of a run.
Yeah, great run.
But it
doesn't matter. We won't ever see it.
Yeah.
But Tom and John is what I want to see.
Okay. Next question, please.
Before your next question, Mark just showed me something.
What? What?
Has to do with Brian.
No.
Let's see.
Oh, your IG upside down?
Yeah.
Get younger.
Did you do that?
No, I did it on purpose.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, I didn't know how to right set it up, so I was like, fuck.
No, you didn't. You didn't do that on purpose.
Well, I was so
Hey,
mad.
it's all good.
I really did, though. My friend goes, "We're upside down, bro." I go, "Yeah, well."
This cigar took 5 years to make. They had to pick the tobacco, they had to rotate the tobacco, they had to age the tobacco.
It's actually kind of sad, isn't it? Like, Callum's 60. Like, it's kind of wild what you have to keep doing in Hollywood to stay current, isn't it? He should be on a boat somewhere. He should be out in a villa somewhere. He should be chilling. He should be doing his stand-up gigs here and there, performing for his fans, putting out specials, maybe doing his own pod where he talks about stuff that he's actually interested in. He shouldn't be trying to hustle as hard as he's doing on social for attention. He shouldn't be trying to, like, you've been in the game for too long to still be doing like skits and shit and little promo bits, like, and TikToks and that. When will it end, man? Have some dignity, have some shame, have some pride in your work, or honor the time, or like have some self-respect for the amount of time you put into this game, and kind of just bow out gracefully, man. Like, god damn it, I wouldn't want to do this, man. This sounds horrible. Like, it sounds like the worst thing. But he probably enjoys it, so I guess it's not a bad thing.
They had to roll the tobacco at the right time. And here I am, my friend.
Was your friend like, dude, this promo sucks?
Yeah, he goes, dude, what the fuck?
Brian.
Greg Sebastian.
Beautiful cigar.
Can't see him.
When I want good cigars, I don't go to the Dominican Republic. I go to my Armenian friend. He knows everything. He said, Brian, if you're going to smoke a Dominican cigar, it's going to dry your mouth out.
He knows
and your
everything
throat.
about
It's
cigars.
fine.
It would be nice to see what he looks like.
I know, he's such a good guy.
I've been smoking.
And you did this to him.
He said, Brian, is your mouth, is your throat dry? I said,
It's just a boomer move. It's all good, baby.
You know everything.
But we're talking about it.
It worked.
It worked.
It did work.
Worked.
It did work.
But it's like that thing drove me crazy. I was like, how the fuck do I turn it back? What did I do? Shoot it on?
I don't know how that
It
happened.
fucking drove me crazy.
Your phone was probably upside down.
Is that right?
Yeah. You're smoking cigars, probably a little high.
Is there any way to turn it around?
Not after it's posted.
No,
Not
it's
high.
posted, no.
No.
It's just a boomer move. It's all right.
Okay.
Let's take a little break. Oh
no, let's not. We don't care.
Because
about
they
this.
get on.
Please,
I
please,
put
go away. Go away.
They
What? That's a horrible name for a brand, by the way. Cremo sounds like chemo, innit? Buy chemo at Target. Cremo sounds like chemo, and Cremo is very, very pause, by the way. Why for that and pause? Why for that and pause on Cremo?
Commercial that you had to
spent way too much money on cologne, and I never end up.
Tougher excluding Bobby Lee stuff, was there ever anything you guys said on air that ended up being controversial that you had to apologize for later?
Yeah.
What?
Couture.
Oh, Randy Couture.
Oh.
And we felt really bad about it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he didn't deserve that, and we were just being silly and
It
not
was
thinking
so
about.
funny,
A lot
though.
of times when you say stuff on a podcast, guys, you don't realize your reach. You're just in the moment, and you don't. There's no audience here.
And then when
So we're
people
just-
hit you up, you're like, fuck. Randy
no.
was like, dude, what? And especially to me, he's like, we're a small fraternity. How can you stab me in the back?
It was
I'm like,
really
"Oh,
bad, and we
fuck."
didn't mean to. And
Rob Dyrdek was like, that's the funniest. He goes, dude, I could not stop laughing. It was
Yeah,
so funny.
but-
I'm standing up.
So hold on, he's talking about how much they had to cut it out and how much Randy Couture was unhappy. I forgot what they said about Randy Couture. What did they say about him? I forgot what they said about it. Anyway, he's talking about this and how upset and disappointed Randy was, and he personally hit up Brendan. But now he's thinking back at it and he's laughing and he's still mocking the whole thing. So it doesn't really take it seriously. Randy not gonna be happy.
While he's coming, like saluting.
Yeah, and
Dude,
we
it
should
was-
probably not even talk about this.
No,
actually.
what the fuck?
I don't
want to
rehash.
No, we're not
bullshit.
rehashing
Yeah,
it.
you're
It's a
right.
question.
It's a question.
We can't be soft about it.
No, you're right, and I just hated
Yeah,
that.
be
I
honest with the
hated that we did
questions.
that. I still feel bad about it, and I apologize.
Other than
to
Randy, though,
I don't think so. I mean, we never did anything malicious or intentional. We never wanted to hurt anybody.
No, it was
And
all
that
for the
goes
fun
from
of the game.
when we started to this moment, I've never wanted to hurt anybody's feelings, and I've never wanted to use this platform to criticize somebody that couldn't criticize or defend themselves. If I criticize somebody on this podcast, it's because they're a piece of shit or a pig, and I stand by it.
yeah, but by
You
far
know.
the biggest mistake was the Bobby stuff.
Yeah, and that's of course I love
I got
Bobby.
terrible info. Like looking back on it,
That was just a bad. I've said sorry 1,000 times with no reservation.
I got terrible info. You should have. I love how again there's no. You see the difference in their response. I said sorry 1,000 times. Brendan still blaming the info. It's just not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. It's the info he got given by somebody else, which is BGO, assuming. It's just funny how so many years since, however many years have passed, there's still a refusal to admit that he's the one that fucked up initially by trying to fuck Kalila. You know, that's where the whole problem started from. Really, if Bobby Lee's meant to be your friend, you really probably shouldn't be fucking his girl, really, do you know, or trying to fuck her anyway. What Brian did was dumb as well, shouting and screaming at Bobby Lee on the phone and saying that they were going to ruin his career, whatever they said to him on the phone. But he was just, you know, protecting Brendan in the way. So you can kind of understand, explain, excuse Brian's reaction to Bobby Lee. But Brendan like started everything, and Brian paid the ultimate price for it because his stand-up career kind of got derailed off that. Because part of me thinks Brian didn't really get cancelled from the comedy scene or kind of excommunicated because of the rape allegations. I don't think so. I think it had more to do with the Bobby Lee shit. The Bobby Lee shit really fucked Brian's ability to kind of, you know, move around in certain comedy circles because people picked a side and they didn't pick, you know, these guys' side. And it was all because of Brendan. Brendan kind of came out of it unscathed. He quit stand-up. He has different friends now. He's in a whole different scene. He's doing his car shit. And he left Brian to just pick up the pieces. It's actually kind of fucked up when you think about it.
I don't know what else to do. But having said all that, overall, I think we've done a good job of, for the most part, making people laugh.
I'm trying to think, especially compared to other pods.
We're
we
also,
really don't.
you and I are also positive.
I mean, a bunch of times with Dana White, Brian.
Positive? What? Positive? Excuse me?
It would have to be like, dude.
Yeah.
A bunch of times. When
Yeah, because I always said to you.
I also didn't want to burn that bridge either. Not that I.
It's burned, by the way. The bridge is gone. The bridge is gone. It's totaled. It's finished. There is no bridge to rebuild. By the way, I find that really interesting. Like, Brendan knows Dana better than we would ever know Dana. He knows him through actually fighting for the UFC at one point, and vis-a-vis by being friends with Rogan, who's very close with Dana. So he knows Dana better than we know him. Yet he still thinks he can be friends with him. Yet we on the outside know how petty Dana is. And when you get on his bad side, it's almost impossible to come back on his good side. Like, it doesn't change. He's kind of that type of guy that holds grudges, you know? So I find it, and also, think about it, even if they didn't have a problem, I couldn't really imagine Dana and Brendan getting on anyway. They're kind of too similar as of people. You know, they're not going to become friends. Both of them think very highly of themselves. No one would want to really take, you know, would want to play second fiddle to each other in public or whatever, or even in private. They would bound to clash on something. Like, they would never be friends in general. They're just sort of mix or match, I think, personality wise. But I just find it interesting how Brendan always thinks he's got a chance to be Dana's friend again, when it's like, you were probably never his friend in the beginning. He probably just tolerated you because you fought in the UFC, or tolerated you because you're Joe Rogan's friend. Then the moment that Joe Rogan friendship kind of went away and kind of isn't what it once was, it's no surprise that, you know, it kind of transpired how it transpired with him, between him and Dana and shit. But it's just wild how he thinks there's still a path to rebuild that relationship. It's like, it's not gonna happen, bro. If it does happen, it'll be a miracle, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
I need anything from them, but you know, the UFC's done a lot for me, so it didn't make sense.
You are also a guy who is your best when you're the prince, as opposed to like, so in other words, it's not that you shouldn't have opinions, not that you shouldn't fight back, it's not that you shouldn't say fuck off sometimes, right? And I think
it's a fine balance. I think I took that advice a little too much and leaned too much into that.
Yeah,
and I think it actually hurt me.
Maybe
it hurt me in the long run.
Didn't want
because I do think you got to put your foot down, and I went away from being what made me who I am, you know. And so I think I leaned a little too much, letting people get away with stuff.
I would stop you when I'd see you getting emotional and maybe saying things you were going to regret later.
What? This perspective he has of himself is just what? I let people get away with stuff. I think a lot of his issues have mostly been self-inflicted, haven't they? Because he's said and done dumb things, or he's reacted very strangely to like funny things and not seen the joke in it and taken things personally and just been a bit of a bad guy behind the scenes, or said things about people on camera that weren't the greatest or whatever. Like, I think most of it's been self-inflicted. I don't think it's been anything else apart from, it's not that deep. You just don't come across as a great guy, innit? It is what it is.
Later. That's what I would stop you with. Sometimes I'd be like, I think he's going to regret this, so let's have a talk before we do that.
But the Dana White stuff also what gave me the platform too.
Yes.
I was the only fighter at the time speaking out against a ton of shit. So it's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword.
It all worked out. He's fine. I'm fine.
Yes.
There's no animosity. We're cool now.
This one says, it's the question for all of us. What are your top 2 to 3 favorite lines from a movie?
My top favorite lines are, don't overcook it. It defeats its own purpose. That's Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. And there's a lot of reasons for why I love that line. But
all right, old man. Fucking hell.
Mainly when Clint Eastwood in The Outlaw Josie Wales, he goes, you a bounty hunter? The bounty hunter says, man's got to do something for a living. And he goes, dying ain't much of a living, boy.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, mine are more fun. Then, I think in White Man Can't Jump, we go in Sizzler with Wesley Snipes. What else do I reference? I mean, with the kids, I reference fucking Frozen in Summer, where he sings In Summer.
Yeah.
So that's just fresh in my mind. Tons of Dumb and Dumber. Tons of Dumb and Dumber.
Okay, Chin?
I can't remember. So go with you.
With me, I love in A Bronx Tale when Chaz Palamitri's character says nobody cares.
Yeah, I like this. Now you can't leave.
Now you can't leave.
That was actually. Oh, he locks the door.
Oh, when he locks the door. Now you can't leave.
With the biker gang. Now you can't sleep.
But
I mean, the greatest lines were like, I was in the movie theater. I remember seeing Goodfellas when Joe Pesci was like, "Am I a clown? Am I here to amuse you?"
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's like it was so terrifying. Or this is Sparta.
Oh, I didn't like that line.
No.
Okay, I think I'm a little girly too, because the other one is from Almost Famous. It's when she says, I always tell the girls, never take it seriously. If you never take it seriously, you never get hurt. You never get hurt. You always have fun. And if you're ever lonely, you just go down to the record store and visit all your friends.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Such a good movie.
Fucking great movie.
People forget Jimmy Fallon is in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why we forget it. Yeah.
But yeah.
True.
Chin, you can't think of one? One line?
Not one movie, Chin?
No, I mean, I don't know if it's a great line, though. But it's because Edward...
Of course Chin doesn't have a line. Of course Chin. Of course Chin has zero movie. Of course, Chin. What's Chin gonna say? Let's see what Chin's gonna say. Chin Scooby.
Edward Scissorhands is my favorite movie.
Oh, hug me, I can't.
Great, best, exactly.
I can't.
She goes, hold me, and then he goes, I can't, and then she just, grabs him. Anyway.
Such a good movie.
Because he has the scissors for hands.
That was such a weird, genius
Tim
movie.
Burton.
Tim Burton is a fucking
My
genius.
kiddos love that movie.
That's my number one.
They're not scared?
No.
That's cool,
Johnny
man.
Depp
They're
is
scared of Coraline.
That was when Johnny Depp proved his greatness.
Oh, yeah.
Greatness.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, he's a great actor.
This is for Brian. How much fun was it to be on the movie Old School? What's your most crazy story about the movie or something we might not know about Will Ferrell?
I worked with Will Ferrell, not on Old School, because I just came in. When you do a movie like that, you come in, it's your scene, and then you leave.
Yeah, he wasn't on set.
You're not
that
even
day.
really talking to
He's not
anybody.
probably on that shoot that day, right?
Yeah, and my part was really small, but they wanted me to play that character, and I improvised that line. Love, it's a motherfucker, huh? And don't worry for her. Love, it's a motherfucker. I just did that. Todd Phillips just lets me do whatever, and I remember.
Hey, hold on. Shut up, Todd Phillips. Shut up, fucking Todd Phillips. Shut up, blood clot Todd Phillips. Let's see this. Bear with me a second here. You think? Have you guys seen this? Have you guys seen this? Allegedly, something happened on the Brooklyn Bridge. Some party boat crashed near the Brooklyn Bridge, or through the Brooklyn Bridge, and people are dead or something, you know? Or they're searching. What? What's happened? Are the people on the boat okay? Let's read the caption. Search and rescue operations underway after a ship with 200 people on board crashes into the Brooklyn Bridge. 150-foot mast was seen colliding with the bridge. The ship, the how do you say that? Cuauhtemoc was built in Spain, 1982. Victims are being transported to the Brooklyn Navy Yard, with those in the critical condition being taken to a nearby hospital for additional treatment. Oh my God. So how did people get injured? Is it through the mast falling on the boat? Is that why? Or did they get rocked and they got knocked over? Look at the boat. There's the boat trying to go under the bridge. It can't go under the bridge. So the mast hit the bridge. Did it drop on people? How are people in critical condition? So the shit falls down, right? How are people in critical condition, do you think? That's a fall down and it hits you. Just run inside, isn't it? Is it that difficult? Or am I being dumb? If you see the thing approaching the bridge, just run back inside. Why are you on the deck? Why is it on the inside? Like, how are there people in critical condition after that? I don't understand that. Or are they faking it to get money? Like, how are you in critical condition after that? I don't understand. So I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm not the best person for this, but I think if I saw the boat going underneath that bridge and it was too close, I would have just ducked, or I would have went inside. You know, I would have went down. You know, I wouldn't have been on the deck still. Anyway, let's go back to Tfatk.
My friend Ahmed said, dude, your line got a huge laugh in the movie theater, and I didn't go to the premiere because I'm an asshole, and I never do that stuff.
I bet you wish you did now.
I'm not really. I'm an asshole in general.
Yeah, true.
And I have problems, and I have a huge problem with acting and everything else. So, no. I love being with people. I love The Hangover. That was a lot of fun. But...
you don't like Eddie?
I'll tell you, I did a movie with Will Ferrell. He was producing. It was called The Goods. So I'd come back, we'd do our scene, and I'd come.
So I wonder what his problem is with going to premieres and stuff. Like, what a weird career in it this guy's had. So it sounds like he's had opportunity, because you imagine a big part of movies, apart from being good at playing your role, is also like smooching, right? It's also shaking hands, kissing babies and shit. That's a big part of the movies industry. So if you do a movie and you make an effort to go to the premiere, you bring people along, you have a good time, you get a little bit drunk, you sign some autographs, you chill out, you make a night of it, that might improve your possibilities or options for further movies. You never know who you might bump into. And for some reason, Brian didn't go to these things when he was actually booking movies back in the day. Like, why wouldn't you go to the premiere of the movie you were in? Unless you were busy, like, why wouldn't you just go? Like, why wouldn't you go? It was so strange.
Come back. And he was such a nice human being. I'm going to tell you a story about Will Ferrell and Adam, what's the guy? Adam
Sandler?
No, who wrote Talladega Nights?
Oh, his boy.
Adam McKay.
Yeah.
So those two guys, I happen to know there was a reading at the table read. And one of the big actors was not doing their job, didn't fit in. It just wasn't working.
It just wasn't a fit.
And they didn't fire that person. I'm not even going to tell you. They didn't fire the person because they didn't want to be mean. That's how nice they are. I'm serious. They were like, man, let's just make it work. I don't have the heart to fire it.
Wow.
Now that's how nice he. And so Adam. But the Will Ferrell. I remember we were kind of improvising, joking around when he was like at Video Village, and I was talking about hunting or something, and I said, "You're a hunter," and he goes, "Yes, I hunt waterfowl." And I said, "Waterfowl?" And he said, "Yes." I said, well, how do you do it? He goes, I like to hang around the tributaries. You know, his face gets really serious. Yeah. And I use long nets, and I capture all of them, the ducks especially. And I said, do you release them? He said, sometimes not. You know, the way he was doing it, I was just, and he never lets you think there's a joke. He's like, waterfowl. I enjoy hunting. So everything he says is hilarious.
He's quick with it too, huh?
Yeah, and you can't find anybody in Hollywood to say one bad thing about Adam McKay or definitely not Will Ferrell. That's my experience.
What about Brian Callen? What about Brian Callen?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a 3-part question. Love the show. Any chance of doing a tour in Australia? Also, is there any Tfatk merch?
We have Tfatk merch dropping when we get to Austin. We'll bring back the Abbott Kenny Fight Club original tees, and then we're doing a 6th Street Fight Club.
Ooh. About time. I'm definitely getting Abbott Fight. I'm definitely getting the Abbott Fight Club tee. Definitely getting the Abbott Kenny Fight Club tee. That's an OG one. I'm definitely gonna get that. I'm gonna start buying more of this merch actually. If I'm gonna do these fucking long ass, boring ass, soul destroying fucking streams, I might as well wear some Tfatk K merch along with it. I've already got my golden hour jacket. I'm gonna start slowly but surely building up my Tfatk K thick boy archive. I might even get some dry, fast, or gas shit actually. I might get some dry, fast, or gas shit. Just to fucking mix things up a bit, just to make things interesting. You get me? I might actually get some dry, fast, or gas shit. Honestly, I'm gonna start building up because I took Thick Boy for granted. I took Thick Boy for granted, and now Thick Boy's no more. So I might actually. What? He's selling. What's that? He's selling supplements. What the fuck is that? Superfood greens, functional mushrooms, 10 billion CFU probiotics, digestive enzymes. What the fuck is this company thing? Is this a new sponsor, I'm assuming? This must be a new sponsor, right? Optimal Human is an all-in-one health supplement specifically designed to bridge nutritional gaps left by modern diets. Of course he's selling this shit. Of course he's selling this fucking shit. Huh? This seems weird. This seems like a page within a page. This seems like a weird promo, this thing. This seems like a weird thing, innit, they're promoting here. It's got its own little page. It seems like these people are advertising on this site. I don't think it's like he stocks it. It's almost like they're advertising, but they built a page to make it look like they've got the product listing onto it, you know? That's what it feels like anyway. It doesn't feel like it's part of it. Okay. What other bits of merch they got? Forget that. I don't want mushrooms. I just want standard merch. What they've got? Yeah, maybe I might get a hat or something. Stuff's kind of expensive though, isn't it? I'm not gonna lie, for what it is. And a lot of it's kind of shit as well. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of it is like really shit. Like so shit I'll be embarrassed to wear it. Maybe that hat I'd probably wear. That hat logo isn't too bad. That t-shirt is horrendous. This one is so bad. Maybe this would be good, but I'd probably like it as a back logo. I wouldn't wear it with this front logo. That logo's alright, I guess. Maybe this logo on a t-shirt's not too bad. It's got the front, it's got a chest pocket logo here on the back there. That anti-electric tee is not too shabby. This one here, this might be one of the best ones there. I don't like the one with the skull. I think that's terrible. That one with the girl is also kind of garbage. Yeah, this might be good. That T design. So those T's are probably the best ones, isn't it? I think those T's are the best ones. That one and this one here are the best T's for sure. Yeah, there's not a lot of good shit here, innit? So it's all kind of. I think he's got a new designer on board as well. I'm not sure if this is AI, but I think this is. I'm seeing a different artistic direction for dry fossil gas. Looks very different to the other shit. Oh, that's a Nazi shirt, isn't it? Yeah, maybe I'll get the Nazi shirt. Maybe I'll get the fucking the HH. I'll get the Dry Fast HH shirt. You know, that's it. I'll get the Dry Fast Third Reich SS shirt. Yeah, that might be a good one. But there's not a lot of good shit on here, and there's not a lot of shit on here anyway in general. The merch is kind of floundering, but if he puts fucking the Tfatk K Abbott Kenny Fight Club tee out, I'm definitely gonna purchase that for sure.
Ooh,
T as well.
I'm wearing that shit.
Yep. So we'll be doing that. We don't know if we're doing 6th Street Fight Club or Congress Ave. But we're bringing merch back. Yeah.
6th Street sounds more dope.
Yeah, 6th Street Fight Club is great.
We're bringing that back. Then what was the
Australia.
Torn Australia would be tough. Yeah. It'd be tough.
Yeah. You got to remember, we have kids now.
Yeah.
We have kids
Yeah, it's just
now.
a different time.
Different time.
Like I stopped touring so I can be with the kiddos.
Yeah.
So it'd be tough to go to Australia for
But
2
when
weeks.
we went for Brendan's tour,
It was fun.
It was insane, dude.
And
The crowds are.
I don't regret any of those experiences. We had such a good time, but now it's just different. I can't leave the kids for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Will you?
By the way, zero demand. There's probably zero demand. It wouldn't make sense. They definitely lose a lot of money. They'd probably spend more money on tickets and flights than being there for sure.
Miss the team who aren't coming to Austin?
Who are they? I don't know. I don't pay attention to the employees.
You don't know anyone that works
No,
here. Huh?
I mean, obviously, Mark and Casey are great. You're great. We'll miss all you guys.
Casey still work for us.
Yeah.
Casey's still full time. Mark work part time, and of course we'll miss you. I'll miss the boys at Golden Hour, of course, but yeah, I'm ready to go.
One thing. If you're young, just keep this in mind, everybody. Change will always happen, and you will try to hold on to things and just bear witness to the changes.
But aren't you guys changing just to follow Rogan? And aren't you changing to resuscitate your comedy career that kind of stalled because your friend over there tried to fuck one of your comedy friend's girlfriends at the time and it all snowballed? And also the rape allegations. This is not like change for change's sake. This is change to save your career, right? No, it feels like, you'd imagine. The real shame in this situation is if they went over there and it actually didn't work. It just turned into like a money saving exercise. The hope that Brian is having, I guess, going out there is that this will help him kind of restart his comedy journey thing. But imagine they go and it doesn't work out and it just ends up being, oh yeah, we just sit here because it's way cheaper than living in LA. Dark shit.
It'll always be kind of moving.
Yeah, nothing lasts forever.
Nothing.
I mean, we were at the Comedy Store in 2018, 2019. I was like, oh, this is so cool. This will never change. We're going to do this till we're 80.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and then other shit hit.
It'll
and
hit for sure.
It crumbled.
Yeah, it just all went away. That was my greatest heartbreak. But
it's a bad behavior though, isn't it? So COVID essentially exposed everyone's bad behavior, isn't it? Unfortunate for these guys. Maybe if COVID never happened, because part of me thinks if COVID never happens, cancel culture probably doesn't happen either, does it? Because that whole Me Too thing kind of occurred or was supercharged around COVID because everyone had loads of time on their hands to really think about the things that they went through. Loads of women who kind of felt like they were hard done by, who were abused, who were taken advantage of, were finally ready to speak up. And a lot of it, like I said before, which is really funny, I don't think a lot of these women were actually trying to get these guys convicted. It was more so just trying to share their story. Like, yeah, you did this to me. You know, I was in this industry. I got treated badly. I got taken advantage of. And women finally had the voice to just speak. Obviously, some women took advantage of that and made up a bunch of stories. But I think it was more so like, let's just publicly embarrass these people. And a lot of people haven't recovered. Like one guy that fell that never recovered is the guy from, I actually love this show. I actually used to watch it, like watching it. Who's the guy that used to do the fucking host? He used to host these shows. He used to host. He used to do interviews, better than Larry King as well. What is his name? Charlie Rose. He was another victim of counterculture Me Too shit. A bunch of women came out and said stuff about him. I think people that actually work behind the scenes, actually, like makeup artists and people ever saying that he's a little bit handsy and abusive and shit. Charlie Rose never fucking recovered from that shit, man. He never recovered. A bunch of people never recovered. So COVID actually did ruin the stand-up comedy scene in a way that it probably is never ever going to recover from. And it ruined these guys' careers, for sure.
But it's okay. I've had them before and I'll have them again. Don't hold on too tight. And it's supposed to change. And if you're growing, never think about the past. Never think about the past. You're not your past. You're not. You just keep moving. Keep moving.
Okay.
I think a change would be good for us, though. In Texas,
Yeah.
it's just something,
Yeah.
Hey,
we're just too comfortable here.
Yes.
It's too easy to sit down, do
Yes.
this. Like it's gonna be good.
My martial.
But they haven't said nothing about the change of the show. Are they just secretly hoping it's just gonna change things? It's almost like that thing that people do in relationships. When the relationship is going through a rocky period or whatever, the couple decides, hey, let's just have a kid. Let's just maybe a kid will save this relationship. And obviously it makes things worse. But are they just going there with like no plan on how to revive the show, to reinvent the show, freshen up the show? They're just hoping by putting the cameras or moving the set to Austin, Texas, it's somehow by default going to change it and make it better. Or do they think going there will open up to more hosts, more interviews, more guests and shit? I guess that could play a part in it. I don't know. I'm interested to see. I guess for them as well, maybe part of it is like certain guests can't avoid them. Maybe people avoid them in LA and it's a bit easier to avoid them because maybe the Tfatk office is a bit out of the way. So people can make an excuse of like, yeah, I'm not going there. But I wonder if in this case, by going to Austin, it kind of gives them the license to sort of like get in people's faces and be like, yeah, come to my show right now. You know what I mean? I'm here for this amount of time. Come now. You know what I mean? That sort of thing, as opposed to the other thing. Maybe.
Martial arts teacher. I was trying to really do something with my life. And I was trying to get really good grades and I was getting my black belt and I was just trying to, I don't know, I was hunkering down. I want to take my life more seriously. And I said to my teacher, who was a really wise man, I said, I'm losing my friends. Like I'm not fostering these bonds with my friends. I'm not spending time. And you know what he said? He said, I know. He said, but guess what?
They're not your friends.
There are a lot of people waiting for you on the other side. He said, there are a lot of people who are more dynamic.
They put a knife in your neck.
And I went, motherfucker. And then he cut
and then
me.
he killed you. And the other side, he meant heaven.
That's right.
There's a lot of people on the other side.
Right.
I'm on this side. Not anymore.
Think. Yeah, but he said there are people waiting for you on the other side of that wall. Keep climbing. And I went, and he goes in there, and they're more fun, and they're more interesting, and they're more, and all that. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be more fun. I think overall life, like quality of life's better out there for me, especially with the kiddos stuff.
Yeah,
like
fun
that.
is different, right? When you have kids, you're thinking about your kids, what's good for your kids, and that's when I'm happy and relaxed. If I'm fortifying my children's future and I have some certainty in that.
Yeah,
sense,
also all my friends, like my work is my social life outside the baseball dad. So it's like I really don't have.
That's kind of sad, to be fair. That's kind of sad. It's kind of wild that he did stand up for so long, but he's not maintained in the relationships as like friends outside of it. Doesn't that kind of not bode well for you? You did stand up for like nearly 10 years. I think he did it in total, maybe like 8 or 9. And he didn't foster any relationships, any friendships that you could kind of hold on to outside of stand up, or that ones that wouldn't be affected if he wasn't doing stand up anymore. God damn it. And then your work is your social life. We can tell anyway. This is no surprise. We can tell that Brendan doesn't have generally any friends. And also maybe it explains why he does all these hobbies. Or he has all these interests and has all these different personality changes. Because he generally has nothing to do.
Powerful bunch.
Pick up your vibes.
Baba is always insinuating his friends stabbed him in the back. By doing what? Being more successful than him?
Not even that. I think he means stabbed in the back because his friends didn't stand up for Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia when they were going through their allegations. Or maybe the fact that his friends chose Bobby Lee over him when that whole beef went down. and chose their sides. That's what he probably means. And it's like to expect people who worked very
powerful bunch.
Big up, who's this?
Baba is always insinuating his friends stabbed him in the back by doing what? Being more successful than him?
Why is it going twice? Why is it doing that twice? I don't know why it's doing that twice. Let me remove this. I don't know why it's going twice, but let me just remove that quickly. Bear with me a second there. Hopefully this works. Now. Don't know why it's doing it twice, but it did it twice. I don't know why, but it did it twice. Hope it's okay. Anyway, yeah, strange. Pick up young advice.
Have time for anything else. Like, I don't go to dinners. I don't hang out. Like, this is my hang.
Yeah.
Just happens to be my work, which is great. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I think it'll be fun out there. We've been doing this for so long, man. Just like
Isn't that
this
crazy?
Here in LA. So it's just something.
It's gonna be new. It's gonna be new. We'll have new people.
What was that?
How bad would you feel to suck at everything you try?
Does he suck at everything he tries though? I'm trying to think of it now. Suck at everything. For me, I think it's less of an issue that he sucks at everything, and it's more so an issue of like how frequently he changes and doesn't just stick with something until he doesn't suck. You know? There's so many different personalities and things. There's no time to get good at what you're trying to do. Because you're trying to, you know, find yourself through these hobbies and interests because you have no real, you know, hobbies or interests, or you don't really, like maybe you're not comfortable in your own skin, maybe you don't like to be alone at home all the time, so you're just forcing it, but you're not really getting better at anything or learning anything new or developing yourself. So I think it's less about sucking and more so he just doesn't work on anything long enough. And also he does this weird thing where he comes into everything that he does and he's always the expert. Never once does he try and act like a novice. He's always coming into it like, yeah, I know everything. I've known this for ages already. I just didn't show you guys because I was this. I was like, brother, come on. It's okay to admit you just started something. It's okay to admit you're a novice. It's okay to admit you just kind of getting your feet under the table, just getting fucking settled. It's okay. You don't have to be an expert at everything, you know? But he doesn't like that sort of thing. So we are where we are. But I also don't think he thinks he sucks. He's got that weird, like, he's got definitely that very strange perception of self where he definitely thinks he's the best of the best. So I don't even think he thinks he sucks. I think he thinks he's amazing, which is scary.
Coming in,
we'll have new experiences to talk about. Like, I have the same schedule every day. My biggest fit, the show I know me and Brian will figure out, and Chin, we'll figure that out. Studios would be great, guests would be great. Like the podcast, I'm not worried about. The biggest thing for me is leaving the baseball dads. Like, I have such a good crew, such good kids.
Wow, man. He's scared of being lonely, isn't it? He's scared of not actually making any friends because he's not going to have the stand-up thing because he quit that. And he's clearly not going to go to the mothership. I think he's not going to go there too often. He's going to treat the mothership like the UFC. He's afraid of going there because he thinks someone's going to beat him up or a comedian's going to rip into him. He's not going to be able to have a good comeback and it's going to hurt his feelings. And then he's going to go Chris Benoit and the whole fucking venue. But he definitely is 100%, you can tell, 100% afraid of actually trying to make new friends. And I also love it because there was a time in the beginning where he was still doing stand-up and obviously doing the baseball dad grift, when he would complain that the baseball dads were too friendly. Do you remember? There was a time when he did that. I think we're doing it during the stream. There was a time where he was kind of like not so subtly mocking Tiger's other teammates' dads and shit, right? The baseball dads, because he felt like they were too, you know, they were too eager to meet or to hang out. I remember him taking the piss out of some barbecue thing that the dads organized. And now look at him. Now he's going to miss them, right? Not so bad now, are they, these normal guys? At first he was acting like he was better than them and he was above hanging out with them, but then suddenly now he's like, you know what? You pores are actually not too bad.
And you I'm sure that everyone feels that way, so hopefully I'll find that in Austin.
100%.
Dude, yesterday T had a learning lesson because It's the first playoff game, right? And he pitches. He's the starting pitcher.
I don't know. Being worried that you're not going to make friends in your mid-40s is... You should be worried. You should be looking at yourself in the mirror. I'm not going to lie. If you're worried that you're not going to be making any friends in your mid-40s, you should probably look at yourself in the mirror and try and fix things. There's probably things that you're not doing. But Brennan will never do that. But there's definitely something you're not doing that's fucking shit up because... Come on, bro. Not missing friends and come on. Come on now. Come on.
Pitcher. And it's tough because I get worried. It's you know how I'm sure dads worry about when the kids play tackle football. You worry about CT if they get like their bell rung. So I worry about Tiger's arm because those fast for a 9-year-old. And I always get Tommy John's.
Don't you push your son to throw really fast, and now you're concerned about his arm? The contradictions are crazy. Didn't he say the other day he wants to hit people hard and whatever? Okay, whatever. Yo, big up Ashley comments in the chat. Well, go on, Ashley. What's good? What's good? Big up Chris Mack as well. Big up Booth McGee. I see you. Mr. Studio Girl, I see you. Two Souls, I see you. Make sure you smash the fucking like button, hit subscribe, join, become a member, all that good shit. We're trying to hit 500 members by the end of the 31st. Oh, by the end of the fucking marathon, not the end of the 31st. We're trying to hit the 31 days, 500 member marathon, 500 members. I don't know. I'm mush mouth right now. It's late. Apologies. You know what I'm talking about. Link is in the description. Join if you want to become a member. All that good shit. Like the stream, subscribe, get involved, blah, 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 blah.
Surgery's up like 80% with kids under 13 because dads are pitching them so much and throwing curves. Tiger's only allowed to throw fastballs and changeups because of that. And he wants to throw a curve so bad. I'm like, no. So I don't warm him up a lot because I'm like, he'll get a ton of throws. He has to pitch on Wednesday and Saturday. So we limit him to 50 throws. First, I didn't warm him up properly. Like, me and him warm up together. I do a proper warm up with him. But I didn't warm him up enough.
Me and him. Me and him. Not him and I. It's very telling. That's very, very telling. Not him and I, me and him. Fucking hell. Having a dad like Brendan must be exhausting.
So he started off like a little rusty. Dude, bases low. First inning, first playoff game, bases loaded. And I'm just sitting there like, oh man, I didn't warm him up correctly. That's why we do warm-ups. We should have probably warmed up more. And one of the baseball dads like, dude, what's going on? Aren't you worried? I go, no, it's good for him, man. Let him work his way out of it. Like, this is good. It would be bad if he just struck out every single kid because he's going to get to a point where his size and athleticism is going to catch up with him.
That's right.
Trust me, it's going to catch up with him. Whether he goes to Austin.
Meaning other kids are going to be like that big.
There's a ton of other kids out there like that, but, he's facing competition now, which is good, but they're not. He can get by just being the bigger, faster, smarter kid. So it's going to catch up with him. So I'm like, no, adversity's good. I don't want him to go fucking 0 hits, no hits, no runs. Like, this is good. Bases loaded, no outs. That inning, he finally warmed up, struck out the next 3, only gave up 1 run. Ooh. But the dad was like, how you stay so calm? Like, because
this must be like, surely someone's going to tell him off for this. Like, this is so boring. Your kids like keep this to your baseball dads. Like, what is this? What is this conversation?
In the long game, this is good.
That's right.
Because he needs to deal with adversity. 100%. If he's just dominating, that's not really baseball. Like, he needs to face this adversity.
Of course.
So I like it when it gets a little, and then he's not melting down. He's just like, all right. I go, you're still warming up. You're good, bud. And then it's on. You can tell once he starts warming up, then it's on. Then it's on.
Rafael Nadal, who is one of the greatest tennis players of all time.
The tennis story.
Yeah, but
when this kid finds computer games or finds the power of streaming, like, it's gonna be a wrap, bro. He's gonna be so distraught, man. He's gonna be heartbroken. When fucking Tiger discovers girls or boys, whatever way he swings, Brendan's gonna be heartbroken.
But it's incredible, incredible sport and incredible athletes. And he said, and it's such a mental thing. And he said, it is.
No, I know. I'm agreeing.
And he said,
tennis is a motherfucker.
Yeah, and he said they were like, you're so calm. He won Wimbledon. They go, you're so calm. He goes, no, I was nervous as hell, but my body, what I do is I learned how to actually train my body to act calm. So I'll assume a calm look because it calms me down. So my physiology, even when I'm fucking totally nervous, you think I'm calm because I'm actually, and it's all those little things, those mind tricks that you play with yourself, or having amnesia after you lose a point, like just completely forgetting about
for T, the whole thing is mindset. Like, you got to be a killer out there, dude. You hit a kid, walk a kid gets a big hit. I always tell him, I do not care. You move on to the next batter. It resets.
That's right.
You can't
reset.
dwell. You reset.
Huge.
It's like
huge.
you threw an interception. All good. You got to go out there, reset.
That's a huge part of
So at
athleticism.
9, it's all he's working on. The athleticism's there. It's all mentality. All mentality.
Professional sports is kind of brutal though. You get to, like, I don't know what age it is, but there's always an age where you find out quickly that you're not as good as you think you are. That's the other side thing that's about it, because he's gassing Tiger like he's this phenom, but there will come a point where he'll start progressing to a level or to a standard or to a league that's far above what he's at, and it'll probably be like a minor hit. It probably won't be anything too serious. Probably like a minor hit or minor buzz, whatever, that'll drive him to a certain location. But it's like, bruh, come on, man. Come on. Let's be real here. Like, this certainty that it's gonna work out is like wild. But I guess, you know, having faith and all that, blah 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 blah. Let's see how that works out. Let's freaking see. Let's press play again.
But then he said to me, because bases were low, or to get bases loaded, he hit a kid so fucking hard in the head, and with a helmet on, just wham. And then that team goes, oh shit. So they're a little hesitant, which is kind of good.
Yeah.
I know this, but I'm like, and I was not upset. I just took my glass off and stared at him. I was all, dude. And I just stared at him. And then he struck all the kids out. He only gave up 1 run after that.
Damn.
And then he came in the dugout and he goes, hey, Dad,
Powerful
can you not
bunch.
look at me like that?
Yo, big up.
The best 9 years old in the nation is when he peaked.
You know what's odd about it as well, by the way? If I didn't know much about Brendan and I just watched his athletic career and shit, doesn't Brendan seem like the type of person that played sports later in life? He doesn't even seem like a kid or a guy, who was like, you know, playing a lot of sports or really getting into it seriously at like high school level. He looks like somebody that kind of maybe, you know, tried to dabble in it, you know, close to graduating high school. But I don't think he was a kid that played sports when he was super young kid. It doesn't make any sense, because I feel like a lot of his actions or talk competence comes from you don't see the person in front of you. Basically, he talks from a place of authority, but where is the authority, mate? What have you done? Where is your athletic career? What have you achieved? You know, which shouldn't be the point, but it's just an interesting thing.
I went, I'm sorry, buddy. You're right. I shouldn't have done that. He goes, I don't like when you look at me like that. I go, my bad.
Yeah.
But you hit a kid at 55 miles an hour in the head.
Fuck.
So I don't understand this. Explain this to me. So why do you keep him from throwing curveballs? What's the difference between
Because the curveball, the torque on the elbow, and all that, it just creates more trauma for the whole
His
arm.
tendons are still developing.
Because when you're throwing the curve, it creates more torque.
I love how he keeps doing it, thinking Sinaz doesn't get it. I think she gets what you mean. You do have to keep fucking doing. You know what I mean? She got me singing.
Because the curveball, the torque on the elbow, and all that, it just creates more trauma for the whole
His
arm.
tendons are still developing.
Because when you're throwing the curve, it creates more torque, especially down here.
One more time.
Fastball's just
One more
here.
time.
But when you start doing all this shit and getting funky,
Hold on, is that how you throw a fastball? Is that how you throw a fastball? Overhand?
especially down here.
Okay.
Fastball's just here.
What kind of fastball is that? Fastball. There you go, fast. Vroom. That's a fastball.
When you're throwing the curve, it creates more torque, especially down here.
Okay.
Fastball's just here. But when you start doing all this shit and getting funky with it, that's where you get a lot of injuries.
And when you get Tommy John surgery, is that because it tears or it's just
all this inflammation,
Wow.
tears, and over
and
time.
that's so painful?
Yep. Well, it makes some guys better.
Be like Chris Mack, a fastball is like an overhand, but is it that overhand though? Yeah, it might be overhand, but is a fastball this
And
overhand?
this explain this to me.
The elbow and all that, it just creates more trauma for the
His
whole arm.
tendons are still developing.
Because when you're throwing the curve, it creates more torque, especially down here.
Okay.
Fastball's just here. But when you start doing all this shit and getting funky with it, that's where you.
Is that a fastball? I didn't know that. That one, eh? No, splash. Splash.
get a lot of injuries.
And when you get Tommy John surgery, is that because it tears or it's just
all this inflammation,
Wow.
tears, and over
And
time.
that's so painful.
Yep. Well, it makes some guys better once they have the Tommy John
Does it
surgery. It
really?
makes it stronger. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now they're really good at it, but you don't want that at under 13.
Hold on, did you say Thomas? Is it Tommy Jones surgery or Thomas? Hold on, you say Thomas.
Inflammation, tears, and over
And
time.
that's so painful.
Yep. Well, it makes some guys better once they have the Tommy John
Does it
surgery. It
really?
makes it stronger. Yeah.
He didn't say Thomas John surgery. Thomas John.
Now they're really good at it, but you don't want that at under 13. It's also a huge red flag for scouts and shit.
Yeah.
It's like buying a used car.
Kids get that under 13?
Yeah, it's up 80%.
Yeah, because they just specialize in one sport year round.
Well, because now with travel ball, kids play year round. Baseball's so competitive, and there's such a money that they're.
Didn't you just say that? Didn't Brian just say that?
Yeah, because they just specialize in one sport year round.
Well, because now with travel ball, kids play year round.
That was great.
Baseball's so competitive, and there's such a money that they're pitching instead of playing football and basketball and baseball, they're just focused on baseball, and they're going to practice. They have their specialized trainers, and
How are you going to avoid that? You haven't played football as well?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He loves football. Yeah.
How much did you?
He doesn't play football, by the way. He doesn't play any other sports. It sounds like he always plays baseball. All they talk about is baseball. All you see from Jano's social media is him playing baseball. I've not even seen him in the gi anymore. He doesn't do jiu-jitsu anymore. I don't think he plays football, soccer anymore. I don't see pictures of that. Unless they don't take them on purpose. But every time I see pictures of them with Tiger, they're at some baseball stadium, mound, whatever. I don't think he plays other sports.
You know about baseball previous to T getting into it? Or did you have to learn it?
I played baseball to 9th grade, but especially this is probably the last year I can be on the field with him. His IQ he knows more about baseball than I do. I can't even pitch to him anymore. So now he needs to get with like real coaches, and he has that on his travel ball team. But rec, it's all dad's coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's all dad's coaching. But my whole thing with him, I don't give him technique or anything like that. I know the basics. It's all about mentality.
Okay.
All about his mentality.
Right.
Here's another question from a.
And obviously, Brendan's Brendan's mentality was elite, by the way, right? That's why he's talking about that. Brendan was well known for his elite mentality.
Fan. What is the goal for the fighter and the kid in 2025? I know it's
World
a broad,
domination.
I know it's a broad question.
Netflix,
But
doc.
would you want to do a live podcast tour, making more short films and skits, bring back merch, or have certain guests on?
Yes
whatever?
to all of it. Like, it's just a question of time, and I think Austin will spark.
Basically, people are asking for a plan or an insight into what they have planned for Austin, and so far we've got nothing. And unfortunately, I watch a lot of this Tfatk now because of the stream, and I don't think I've heard them once say what they actually are planning to do. It just feels like they're going over there hoping something will happen. You know? They're hoping something will happen.
Some new creativity.
I think we'll have more time out there too.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm running so thin. I think we'll have more time out there. Merch is coming back. We'll have more guests out there. It won't be guest every episode, but we will have more guests. The short skit stuff, I don't know. That's a whole production.
Right.
But
Okay. Here's a question.
I'm sure we'll do some live shows out there eventually.
Sure.
There's so many venues out there.
Yep.
This is another one for all of us. Brendan.
I still don't get why they couldn't do a live show in LA. I don't get the fascination. I honestly understand. I get why, because it's Rogan's place and they want to it's Rogan's new fucking hometown now. They want to, suck up to Rogan. But I never understood why Tfatk Live wasn't in LA. It should have been in LA. That's where the fucking podcast was founded. Advocating Fight Club, all that fucking shit. Why couldn't they fucking host a podcast somewhere in LA? It had to be there. The whole Texas thing didn't make any sense to me personally, but I could be wrong. Who knows?
Brendan, we'll start with you. What is your favorite submission in jiu-jitsu?
I can tell you. Dars.
Dars Anaconda all day.
All day. Brian, what's your favorite hunt that you've been on?
Dars.
What?
My favorite hunt that I've been on?
Yeah.
Probably the one with Rogan and I, the last one we ever did with Steve Ranella in Alaska, because we didn't see anything and we were so miserable and wet that all I did was make all we did was, we just laughed the whole time. Literally laughed the whole time. I just kept fucking making fun of where we were, what we were doing and shit, and Rogan was howling. And that the only time that I get to really fuck with Rogan and spend time is when we're hunting, and I can get him away from everything, and then he's a great audience.
Ew. Pause, bro. Why for that? I can get him away from everything. The only time he's talking as if he's what? Let's relax a little bit, man. Let's relax a little bit. Let's relax a little bit on the Rogan glazing. Let's relax.
Audience, and I like being a silly goose. Somehow I clam up during the podcasts, and I don't know why. I don't feel
with Rogan.
A little bit. I need to be less serious.
You just gotta be yourself.
Of course. That makes a lot of sense though. Even though you're friends with this guy for more than 30 years, you treat him like he's a celebrity or he's some sort of deity or something. It's like, bro, you're brutal. It's not surprised it ended the way it did, isn't it? Not surprised it ended the way it did.
I've been really serious these past 5 years, and it's not helped me. Really serious, because I felt serious.
Yeah, and it would be tough not to. You know, especially after
that was my biggest challenge. My biggest challenge
because you're not a serious guy overall. No, but my mother said that. Real serious.
My mother said, you've lost your joy.
Yeah,
I see your eyes.
The light dimmed. Yeah,
she
you just changed, and it became so serious.
Yeah, and that's anger, and that's all that shit that you go through. And the biggest challenge is what's so funny is the conversations you have with yourself. Try not to lose what made you special. Try not to lose what made you funny. Try not to lose the joy for life. Because I was such a Peter Pan. It was all about joy for me. It was all about being a silly goose.
But I also think what makes us different than a lot of these comedy duos, if that's what you want to call us, is Bobby Lee and Santino. They're like me and Brian have family and kids. It's just different. So.
What? Huh? So what was the question? Was what? The question was, what was your favorite hunt, innit? Why are you talking about this? So the question was about the hunt thing. Brendan asked on the question about what's your favorite submission. He said the Dars choke and the anaconda. Then they asked Brian, what's your favorite hunt? He said what it was, and now we're on this side. But what the fuck does having kids have to do with anything? So what, and what a weird example to use. Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee, it's just different. They have kids. What? Isn't Andrew Santino married? Doesn't he also have a family? Doesn't he have people he looks after? What is this cope? What is this but we have kids, it's just different. What? No one else has ever had kids in the history of the world. Just these two, by the way. One that isn't even born yet. It's just huh?
COVID and politics, and we're older, so we're gonna get involved with that stuff. Yeah. A lot of these other comedy podcasts stay away from it, but it's just not what we do.
I'm really struggling to see the point he's trying to make. We have kids. It's different. We're not like other comedy duos like Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee. We have kids. It's different. They're not get into politics. We do. It's just different. What? What the fuck is he trying to say? I don't understand anything he's trying to say here. It's such a bizarre thing to say.
It's probably because we have kids, and kids really, really make you feel the world.
It makes you scared
deeply. It makes you scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
where you kind of have to address it. Where it's
kids take.
I was never into politics, and then when all this shit was going on, I'm like, wait,
hold on. Wasn't all this shit going down when you were into stand-up comedy and had a family? What are you talking about? Didn't everything happen when you had kids in the last 10 years? What a strange person, and just the heel to wear in general. It's what? God, I don't even know what he's trying to say. I really don't know. I'm so confused right now.
Hold up.
Yep.
And they start listening to it, then becomes a thing.
It was the masks for us at first. It was wait,
bro, you want to piss me off, dude?
I remember you were in remember you were talking about you were jogging and those assholes on horses were like, put your fucking mask
But
on.
it was kind of a good thing. Like I said, I went too far on that. People can say what they want, and no, I'm the funny guy. Like, no, I'm not this monster, you know, big monster, blah blah blah. I went all the way from that, and then
big monster. So I guess he's trying to say that he was being too much of a comedian, too much of a silly goose, too much laid back and
powerful bunch.
We got everyone this.
Remember, if it's not your kid, nobody gives a shit.
I just don't know. I just don't know what's going on here. This kids thing give you a superpower is weird because it's not like he's had kids now. He had kids back in those days, what he's talking about, and he was still a bit of a douchebag. Maybe even worse back then. So this idea that somehow he's had kids and it's made him this amazing person, it's like, you have to show him proof first, sir. You know what I mean? You have to show him proof first. Let's just say that. And this revisionist, this fucking revisionist,
powerful bunch.
Hilarious. Big up us all disease.
You don't get it as comedy. ISS Jews, not what we do, Bubba. If you have kids, you can't be funny. Beef is a serious problem. It's like trying to do comedy to the woke agenda. Can't do it. Be can't vax, won't vax.
Exactly. Can't do it. Be can't vax, won't vax. Can't vax, won't vax is fucking hilarious. It just doesn't. I don't know. I'm really trying to understand what he's trying to say here. I'm really trying my hardest, and it's just impossible. It's really difficult to do so because he's not really making any sense. Like, what? You couldn't do this. You couldn't, like, what couldn't you do again? Please remind me. I'm what?
And thank God, COVID and just having a bunch of soft friends and like all that manufacturing together and the comics turning on each other and all this bullshit. It like woke up the beast in me. And then when those people on the horse were like, you need to put on a mask, I was like, oh, you woke up the monster. I'm ready.
Hold on. If he's talking about this beast in him, isn't this recently? This like kind of like Republican thing he's been doing. This like right wing thing he's been doing. This like racism thing. This like, you know, being like anti woke and shit. Hasn't this been a recent thing? Back when what he was talking about back then, he's lying because there's clips of him on Tfatk back then where he's wearing a fucking bandana around his neck that he used to use to cover his mouth whenever he go to a coffee shop to appease people who said he put a mask on. But he's acting as if he was being this, and then I'm sure I can find pictures of him on a bike when he was cycling in the fucking, you know, or in the hills or whatever, hidden hills, hiking, whatever, on his e-bike, going through the trails. Where, if I'm not mistaken, he also had a bandana around his neck. He always kept it on him just in case somebody told him to put a mask on. So him acting as if like, oh no, I refused. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Let's not rewrite history now. I mean, you didn't. You didn't do anything. You got the shit. You packed it up and you waited for the food to be ready. You didn't do jack shit. Let's be real.
Ready to fight you and the horses.
I'll punch your horse in the face.
Yeah. I'm down for this.
Chin, what's the fish you've been most proud of to catch in your life?
The fish that I'm most proud to catch.
Chin caught it.
I don't know why I just said I'll punch your horse in the face.
Yeah.
Because that's a really dumb thing to say. And
No, it's
you
not.
wouldn't.
It's like Blazing Saddles. I'll punch
No.
a fucking horse.
No, we're not punching animals.
Now, if that horse said the same thing that guy said,
That horse would be like, really?
No one really cares about Chin's fish, innit? They quickly moved on there, innit? Oh, bless him, man. Really, no one gives a fuck about Chin's fish. Look how quickly they moved on from Chin's fish.
I'm down for this.
Chin, what's the fish you've been most proud of to catch in your life?
The fish that I'm most proud to catch.
Chin caught it.
I don't know why I just said I'll punch your horse in the face.
Yeah.
Because that's
how quickly they moved on. 1 second it took to move on. They gagged. Oh, so sad. Chin.
Dumb thing to say. And
No, it's
you
not.
wouldn't.
It's like Blazing Saddles. I'll punch
No.
a fucking horse.
No, we're not punching animals.
Now, if that horse said the same thing that guy said,
That horse would be like, really? How about I fucking stomp your head in?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But it just kind of slapped it kind of slapped me into it. You know, and when the guy said that to me, I was like, "Oh, I'll be here tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll meet you here."
Yeah.
You know, but then also having two young boys, it's like that's what they don't need the soft dad. That's not what they need in this world.
No.
So that's why I'm back, baby. I'll fucking rip your head off.
I like that version of you. Where you're like, how about I twist your head off your fucking shoulders?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Nick Diaz shit. So now he's not a comedy guy. He's not a funny. Oh, look, are they looking at each other there? Oh, are they looking at each other there? Look at Brendan staring. Look at Sanaz with her head in her hand smiling. Let me up the fucking bit rate there. They're staring at each other lovingly. Let's up the bit rate here a little bit. Let's see this. Let's do 720/60. Oh no, she's not looking. He's looking. She ain't looking though. Look at them lovers, huh? He's definitely looking. She ain't looking, but he's definitely looking. We're hoping for an approval. Fucking hell. Interesting.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
All right, so I'll answer real quick. It was
Chin
in
got
Alaska.
shit. Yep.
In Alaska.
Jesus Christ. Okay, they went back to his answer. Chin finally answered. Cool.
So yeah, just this huge halibut.
Dude, not to interrupt Chin. Chin can fish his ass off and drink like 30 beers and still
another
catch
thing
more
too.
And
fish
be
than
totally
all of us.
sober.
Yeah,
He'll drink 13 drinks.
It was
and be, like,
wild.
completely normal.
That Alaska trip, I was so hesitant to go on.
Yeah.
It is the best vacation I've ever had.
Aw.
It was a great time.
Oh, I think something happened, man. Bro, we watched that Alaska vlog. They were not enjoying it in the slightest. Brendan couldn't get out there quick enough. I think something happened. And they also paid him a bunch of money, I'd imagine. That fucking place, was it? Sportsman's Cove Lodge. They probably paid him a bunch of money. They probably flew them out there. They probably put them off for free. Plus, they sponsored the show. They put an ad on the show, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I legitimately think someone said something to him about that. Because that was kind of shitty how they treated that place. They really didn't want to be there that long. And they ran away as soon as they could run away. You know, they didn't even take that many pictures, I don't think. These guys, they fucked up, really. They fucked up. It's kind of wild. So I think that's why he's trying to make up this whole thing. But look at Chin, by the way. Chin still hasn't finished his story. Look at Chin. Chin still didn't get to talk about his favorite fish that he caught.
It was. I would go every year. It is fan-fucking-tastic.
With Tiger too, that
It was.
awesome.
My son talks about it once a week.
The wildlife we saw, the whales and stuff. I mean, it's like a whole wilderness area.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool.
All right, let's take a little break. It is playoff time. You still watch?
Anyway, cool. Let's mix things up a little bit. Big up everybody in the stream chat. Smash the like, hit subscribe, all that good shit. Let's play the DSP Gundam clip or the documentary clip I wanted to talk about as well. And then we're gonna probably pause this and come back again tomorrow. But let's do the DSP documentary courtesy of It's a Gundam. It's a Gundam's got a new documentary out about DSP. I wanted to react to that one, so let's go through that, and then we'll come back tomorrow for some more Tfatk watch along shit. Okay? Where is it? Where's It's a Gundam thing? There you go. There. Big up It's a Gundam. So It's a Gundam has a new DSP documentary. It's called The Worst Stream on YouTube is DSP. Let's fucking go. Let's mix up a little bit, yeah? Let's fucking go.
And yes, I am going to make money. I am going to ask for contributions, and you're gonna like it.
Fucking love. Oh.
He's a monster.
He definitely is.
DSP is arguably one of the worst, if not the worst streamer on YouTube, bar none, no questions asked. I think his saving grace is that he's incredibly lucky. If DSP was under the same level of scrutiny I was, or even Sergon of Akkad on this platform, he'd have been gone for TOS violations that none of us would commit because we know what the outcome would be for such foolishness. But for some reason, the dude flies wild and free.
It's actually kind of impressive the amount of luck he has. I think he mentioned it actually the other day. He, like, for such a horrible person, that's why I said it, and I'll keep repeating it. DSP, Wings, and Boogie taught me that karma doesn't exist, because DSP has an incredible run of luck so far, and he's a really horrible person. Like he mentioned the other day, this story about him getting a driver license was like, rah, man, you've always been kind of lucky, innit? Because he mentioned his story about getting his driver's license, and obviously, you know, it sounded like he fucking took a while to get it. But when he took his practical test, whenever he took it, there was torrential rain happening, and he was really struggling. But he was really worried about taking the test anyway because he couldn't parallel park. He didn't know how to reverse properly. So he was really nervous about it. But then when he took his test, it was torrential raining. the instructor basically cut the test short and just marked him down as pass anyway, even though he didn't do the full test. That's anyway, according to DSP. The story could be fake, but he says that there was so much rain that the driver stopped the test and said, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll just mark you down as passed anyway." It just kind of goes to show how much luck this awful, irredeemable piece of shit has somehow, despite being a horrible person. Which is also maybe a sign of like what it is to be successful on social media. If you're unapologetic yourself, no matter how toxic you are, some people will gravitate towards it.
An absolute wild animal. There's no other way to put it. There's people in the chat right now. Oh, he's doing a meme. Oh, this is cringe. Shut the and eat it. Eat it. Eat ass. Shut the I am not putting up with any of this ever again. Kiss my ass and lick my and I'm about it. This guy comes in and tells his chat off the rip. I need money. Give me the money. And when I get it, your reward will be watching me eat something poorly. But while you watch me eat, you have to pay me to watch me eat. It's the worst mukbang in history.
And it's so painful too. He has such a weird way of eating his food, the smacking of the mouth, the horrible descriptions and shitty reviews and whatever. It's a very interesting scam, isn't it? It's a very interesting span. Give me money to eat the food, watch me eat the food, but then give me more money to eat the food.
At least Nick Avocado was funny or interesting. Phil is just, he's a charisma vacuum, a black hole where good ideas and entertainment go to die. Ugh. Recently, Phil didn't hit his goals, so he had a little temper tantrum. This is common for a 45-year-old man.
He's been in perfect health for 40 years.
Oh my God, now I'm pissed. Now I can't even concentrate, and I'm pissed off.
Money.
I'm pissed. Do you want me to be honest? I'm pissed off because I play better when I'm relaxed, when I'm like, okay, everything's good, we hit our goals, we got fun stuff coming up, and it pisses me off.
He needs to be relaxed. I thought he had no money. That was why he was flipping. He actually got $212 for this stream. Could you imagine sitting on your ass, playing video games poorly, mind you, using a sniper rifle in close range because that's how they work, and then just spazzing out because you didn't hit your goal? 50 of 50. He's not going to get to eat pizza tomorrow, you guys. What? How could this be?
It pisses me off that last minute I gotta wait for it, and it might or might not happen. If it doesn't happen, we gotta wait another day for the marathon that
I gotta wait for it. The entitlement is fucking insane. Part of me doesn't even, part of me, like, because I've been so beat over the head with DSP content, I've watched so much of it, the tractor shit. Big up That Being Said, Meerkat, all those guys, Steve of the Dead and shit, AOT. So I enjoy watching that show. But I think over time, I'm like, you know what? I don't even mind. I'm getting to a point where I don't even mind the begging. Like, beg, go and beg. If you're, whatever. If your fans want to give it to you, beg whatever you want to do. It's deplorable and it's really unbecoming of a man to be online begging for fucking tips and donations. But do it if you want to do it. But the thing that's wild for me, is the entitlement. It's one thing to beg, but then sitting there and like holding the game hostage, saying you're not going to play the game until you get a donation. Or what he does nowadays, where he'll say, "Come on, guys, let's tip, let's get it going. Give me a super chat. I want a donation. I want a fucking sub on fucking Kick. I want a membership on YouTube." Like, he wants every type of income, every type of support, quote unquote, money given to him for him to be happy. He's not even happy if you give him, like, if one person gave him £150 now, he won't be happy with it. He wants it to be a super thanks. Make me a super chat. Give me a sub. It has to be one of those things, and it has to come from various people. That level of entitlement is so sick. It's one thing to beg, but to be like sitting there demanding and almost pocket watching, not even almost, basically pocket watching your fans. Wow.
I wanted to do on Sunday.
And the fucked up thing about it, it works. It works. It actually works. That's the most toxic thing about it. He sits there and cries and complains, guilt trips, and the fans actually start opening up the Velcro wallets and giving them money.
It's frustrating.
Oh God, DSP's marathons. That's where he sits and begs for money and tells you how successful he is, while also telling you that he needs money because nothing says success like begging.
I can't concentrate right now. I literally can't. I'm trying to concentrate. It's just, look, I can't even get a shot off.
You can't get a shot off because your aim is garbage. Look at this camping play style in Call of Duty of all games. If you want to sit in a spot and do nothing and wait for a shot, play Arma King of the Hill, bro. Like, dude, you filthy casual. Just fast forward to the part where Captain Fidget sees someone coming and prepares for it by doing sniper shots at close range.
I literally can't play. I can't play. I can't even get a guy new.
Give me more money, then I'll play better. If you give me more money, I'll play better. I'll aim better. I'll be more calm. Money makes me calm. This guy is just diabolical. It's just diabolical. It really is. And I remember there was a statistic that said something along that, was it back in the day when he was on Twitch? Even though he's got like a really small viewership, his dents are very supportive. So I think he had like the highest amount of like donations and like, I think bits they were called back in the day of any streamer. Despite being super small and people don't work with him, no advertising, nothing, he still gets a crazy amount of people coming through, or not just a crazy amount of whales that basically fund his life. Essentially, isn't it? Like some sugar baby cam girl shit. It's kind of wild.
I heard him coming. I fired as soon as he came. I can't hit anyone.
Hey, pause for that, by the way. Pause for that. Pause for that. Okay?
I'm not even gonna bother.
I can't even get a guy new. I heard him coming. I fired as soon as he came. I can't hit anyone.
I'm not even gonna bother talking about how it would have been smarter to, I don't know, change your position because you knew he was coming for you. So the smarter move would have been to, I don't know, jump off the edge because it's Call of Duty. Your legs won't break, and then run behind him and gank him. Instead, you stand there like a total mark. In this,
you're a bit young old vibes. AZ, were you a DSP fan or did you hate him for the rip? Hate him for the rip. Hate him for the rip. But I'm also a big hater of like beggars anyway, you know? I have very strong opinions about people that beg for money. I don't know. There's something about that. There's something about that kind of just irks me when it comes to that sort of shit. I think it's the helplessness of it, you know? I don't know. I think there's something. I have these really, I guess, like rigid ways of looking at masculinity and manhood and shit. I think one of them is being somewhat self-reliant, being resourceful, knowing how to look after yourself and shit. And I think there's a part of begging, there's a part of like what he does that's just very unmanly to me, you know? It's like the helplessness of it. Always wanting to be a victim, crying and complaining about things. Like, it's just so unmanly and bitch made, you know? That it just pisses me off. And the fact that he's just a really horrible person, you know? Like, just an absolute terrible person. But yet he gets away with it. It's like, huh, how does that work then? But I guess it's just how the world works, isn't it? The world does work like that. Sometimes the worst people do get away with it. Eventually it will kind of, you know, it will catch up with him. That's just how the world works. But for now, it's been pretty decent. You know, he's been a streamer professionally, I think for like 20 years or whatever. For the majority of that time, he's basically made 100 grand a year more doing what he does now. The crazy thing about DSP is that you see his content from year 1 to year now, which might be year 15 or 16, and it's exactly the same. He even begs the same way. It's kind of wild when you watch it. Like, he even has the same cadence, same subject matter. He's like, it's so weird, wild how he is the same way. And the funny and the really sad thing about it, at the heart of it, is that he has this wife, Kat, who's like, she's developmentally challenged, I think, most likely. But he makes her work, even though she doesn't need to work. She works like a shitty retail job that she doesn't need to do because DSP makes it more than enough to look after both of them. But because of his addiction to WWE champions, this gambling thing that he kind of, you know, doesn't admit that he plays through the actual account that he actually has and whatever, he hasn't got enough money to afford to kind of look after her. So she has to go work this horrible fucking part-time retail job. And he sits on his ass playing games, begging all the time, spending all his money on WWE champions and drinking. It's kind of insane, really. It's kind of insane, but hey. So yeah, I've hated him for the rip.
Clip, DSP gets shot. He's still pouting that he hasn't gotten $300. And he runs into a wall and blames the game.
Awful. Look at this. They spawned me. I'm not even kidding you. They spawned me facing this corner. So as the round started and I went to start running, I literally just walked into a corner. That was their spawning engine.
Again, I played video games a long time ago. I don't play them now. One of the things that also fascinates me about DSP, and I guess all locales, is how bad they are at video games. I know most of these guys, DSP may be a worst example. I think he doesn't really like video games anyway. I think he just plays them as a way to beg for money. But I find it wild how these guys who play video games for a living don't try and get better. Don't try and improve their skills. Like, why would you play for so long and be so bad? You know? Like, maybe the best one, maybe to be fair to Wings, maybe the best one is Wings, isn't it? Because he's pretty decent at most of the games he plays. He's okay. He's not the best, but he's okay. But DSP is like terrible at video games. Like, you can tell when you watch him play. Like, he makes the streams boring. Like, you see other gamers. Again, I don't really, I'm not really into games like that or whatever. But I can watch a good streamer enjoy a game and actually enjoy watching them play, even though I know nothing about the video game. But with DSP, it's like almost impossible because he's like super boring. He's always begging. He's got this nasally annoying voice, and he's terrible at it. And he's playing it in the most redacted way possible. Like Call of Duty, he's camping with a sniper rifle. You know what I mean? It's like, who wants to watch that? Who wants to watch somebody camping the entire time during a stream? Like, no one really. Especially if you haven't got a fun personality to make up for the fucking pauses or the gaps in silence and shit.
Enemy stunned.
What? So where did he spawn? He spawned behind me again. Yo, the game is so bad. I literally can't move right now. Look, I'm trying to move. The game caught me on the edge and wouldn't let me move. I'm walking. I'm like, you won't do anything. Are you retarded?
Big up Mick. African parents beat the begging and whining out of you very early. Yeah, but it's just like, what is the point of it though? Like, what does it serve you to do? I guess sometimes it can be somewhat cathartic, right? There's a sense of like getting that shit off your chest. But what does whining and complaining actually achieve? Like, it doesn't do anything. You're better off spending that energy, expending that energy on trying to find a solution to your problems. Trying to work it out, because 9 times out of 10, in my life anyway, I found most of the things that are an issue for you are usually things that you can sort yourself. Usually things that you can fix. Most of them are within your control. Most of them. Some aren't. The ones that aren't, obviously, you can cry and complain about them. But the ones that are in your control, just figure it out, innit? Figure out a solution to kind of make it better. But I don't see how crying and complaining does anything. But I also think, for me as well, like going back to the begging thing, I guess the begging thing isn't even like, I don't know, like, again, I would never do it personally. I would never do what DSP does or do it in that way. But the part about the begging thing that's really funny about DSP that makes him probably the worst person ever is that he begs for a living, right? So his entire living, his entire life is like via the, what do you call it? The charity of others, right? People are basically allowing this guy to be alive. Cool. But then he has such an ego and an entitlement and like a pride about it. It's like, bro, like how can you be so full of yourself and think so highly of yourself and think your shit don't stink and think you're this like whatever awesome person when your whole existence is dependent on people's charity? Like, you know what I mean? You're not self-sufficient in the slightest. Like, if the whales disappear, you disappear. It's as simple as that type of thing. That's the interesting conundrum when it comes to DSP. He's always a victim. He always begs like he's poor and needs the money. But then he also acts like he's Billy Big Balls and makes loads of money and he's the richest, or he's the best, he's the most successful, everyone's jealous of him. It's like, I don't know if you could be the bully and the victim at the same time. I'm not sure it works that way. I'm not sure you can be both poor and rich, but hey, maybe you can.
This guy who literally gaming companies now gear their stuff towards, as the infamous GDC God of War panel proven, that these guys are actually using Nimrods like Phil to design their games.
Here's a quick example. I want you to watch what the player does here.
That's amazing, by the way. They blurred his face in this. I remember this clip. They blurred his face, but you can definitely tell that's his old DSP studio. That's DSP. You can tell that fucking pasty white skin. Looks like fucking A4 paper. You can see that fucking, you know, light bulb head shape of his. The foam, right? The noise cancelling, the fucking soundproofing for noise cancelling. Soundproofing foam behind him. That chair that was covered in coom. Yeah, you can definitely tell that's DSP. And this is a gaming conference for this company that made this game, and they're basically talking about how they purposely dumbed the game down for streamers like DSP. You know, they purposely made it as easy as possible to play, which I guess a lot of gamers don't like now because games are too easy, or they have too much direction to allow people like DSP to have fun because they don't, you're not curious or, you know, have any level of, you know, whatever else it may be when it comes to playing games.
As he boats around.
Experimentation.
We're back.
New levels of depravity.
Look where we are. We're back.
Okay, so in this example, the player is exploring the hub. They've been correctly taught the shock arrow mechanic. And thanks to the design work done by Kai Zheng, they've also been told that shock arrows mean interesting themes and that there's a lot of different variety and a lot of different gameplay, right? So we've made a convincing promise to the player. So watch it one more time, and I want you to watch just what the camera behavior does.
The taste of vanilla magic led him to new forms of experimentation.
We're back.
New levels of depravity.
Look where we are. We're back.
Boom, and there it is. He saw a shock crystal, right? He has been taught correctly. He has been promised interesting gameplay. And because he is returning to the hub, he is thinking, oh, I feel like doing one of those.
No discoverability, no using of your brain. They're literally dumbing down games to make them easier to play for people like DSP, and thus ruining games for every other person that likes to play video games with a little bit of complexity, you know, a little bit of like, you know, whatever involved in it. They just got rid of it because people like DSP complain and they want the games to be easier. Fucking hell.
I know how those work.
How does it feel to have lived long enough to see all of your favorite franchises go down in flames?
I hate breathing. I hate being alive. I'm in tremendous pain. I'm in tremendous.
Later on, DSP does get his marathon.
Whoa. You're like, boom. You're like, woo. That'll clear out your sinuses, baby.
Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that. You can do it. Shh. Shut up.
He plays Kingdom Come 2 or something.
Exciting. Oh, some shout outs.
But he was so adamantly against playing the game that it's typical DSPism, where you give him money to do something that he doesn't want to do, and he begrudgingly does it and quits as soon as possible. A la the Christmas Stellar Blade stream.
I'm sorry, that game is stupid.
And now this.
I'll bear that in mind.
I'll sort out the rest with Ignatius.
You're still talking! Shut the Shut
Sydney.
Shut up! Is there a video game? Shut up! This is the worst ever!
But in better ones.
They never shut up! Oh! Oh!
I'm sick of him already.
Notice how he doesn't do that for Yakuza, a game he actually likes. And Lord knows there's 20-minute cutscenes in Yakuza, but Phil's little brain...
Oh yeah, look at him sleeping. Look at his mouth as well. Like, he's just such a weird... He's such an ugly looking person in it. Like, it's amazing how long he's been able to be on the internet for this long. Having this face, look at that face. I love when he falls asleep during the cutscenes. The little fucking, he thinks no one notices. The little old man, little closing of the eyes is fucking hilarious, man. Jesus Christ.
Handle this one because he just didn't want to play.
Interesting. So
he saw women with boobs in the opening sequence, and that was pretty much it for him.
Well, what a nice game that within the intro, scantily clad women, right?
Scantily clad.
You see, I'm quite gay.
Oh my God, there's scantily clad women taking a bath. Oh my God, women. Here's one of those classic moments from Phil, when even some of his most dented viewers, the people who sit and actually unironically watch Darkside Phil, have finally had a little bit too much begging.
672, 47 months as a member. He says, hashtag DSP Golding, too much beg, hard to watch now.
Exactly.
Well, perhaps 672, if you actually contributed, it wouldn't be a problem. But instead, you just stand around complaining. Let he who has already contributed cast the first stone.
Who raises you to be like that? Who raises you to sit there and say things like that? Like, be comfortable to say that. I guess it's easy to say it when you're at home and you're not around regular people, but like, you should be disgusted. You should you should feel sick saying those type of things out of your mouth. Like, what? Oh, you're begging too much, Phil. You're making the stream unlistenable. Well, you should give me money then to shut me up. It's like, huh?
He was already contributing cast the first stone. Bro, what? He took a Jesus quote and made it about money.
Exactly.
Like they say, literally the adage, ask and you shall receive, works. Because some people...
It really isn't about begging, though. I think he's misrepresented or kind of translated that Bible verse or that saying, whatever, as a way to kind of justify his begging. But I'm pretty sure ask and you shall receive doesn't mean about begging. It doesn't relate to begging. I swear to God, it doesn't.
Maybe sitting here watching and enjoying, and then not even think about contributing.
That would be something you'd expect a member of the Sanhedrin to do. Let he who is not donated cast the first super chat, but he's not that creative mentally to actually make the connection there. Oh,
what a dude. Have some more begging.
Oh, the bubbles.
Jalen says, if I already gifted three subs today, if I give 7 more, would that qualify me for the OG badge? Yes. Yes, because I can confirm that you did give 3 today. I would give you the VIP badge if you give 7 more. Yes, I would. Jesus. It does have to be today, though.
Yes, you're not hearing it wrong. Darkside Phil is selling badges on his stream. If you give him a certain amount of money, you can have a badge. It's almost like some sort of home shopping network for people with downs. Yes, Jalen. Give me $300 and you get the OG badge, but this is a one-time only offer. If you don't do it today, you will not get the OG badge and the 2 extra badges of stupidity.
Excuse me. No, I'm not offering to shave. I made the offer to shave. No one took me up on it foolishly, and now that offer is off the table. I will not offer to shave again. That's your own fault. You wanted to see that, you should have done it when it was on the table instead of asking for it after the fact. That's very foolish of you. Jalen, I'm sorry. No, the OG badge is 20 or more. The OG badge is 20 subs or more. I can't give it away for less than 20 subs.
What the hell are you talking about? It's a digital item that means nothing. It's less than nothing. At least in CSGO, if you got a certain skin on your knife, you could flip it for cash. But a DSP OG badge means all to the rest of the world.
Whoa. This is worthless.
It's less than worthless, my boy.
And you might be wondering, what's this shave talk about? The context there is there was a point where DSP was so hard up for cash like 2 or 3 weeks ago that if people gave him $3,000 for his birthday, no, $3,500, he would shave his beard.
Yeah.
What a treat. $3,500 to see this weak chin.
Yeah, imagine that. I think it's a good thing he didn't get the 3,500 because DSP without a beard is a very odd looking person. God almighty. Jesus Christus.
MF and stare at him for like a week till it grows back. Jesus H. Christ. And he's acting as if you missed out on the deal of the century. Oh, sorry, Jalen. I was going to give you a Bitcoin for $5,000, but the deal's off the table now. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Because he said he wants an OG badge for 10. No, that's not the offer. The offer is 10 subs on Kick tonight for a VIP, 20 subs for an OG, 30 subs to get an additional OG.
I was joking before that he's going to try and sell Jalen an extra 2 badges, but I'll be damned, he did it. Wow.
I got nothing to say to that. I feel like part of my brain just short-circuited.
Which I never offer. But you have to buy the 20 subs first, and then for 10 more, you get a second OG.
Jesus Christ,
That's the deal.
There's just non-stop fleecing of the fans. There's non-stop fleecing of the fans. And they get nothing in return, by the way. They don't get longer streams. They don't get funner shows. They don't get entertaining gameplay. They don't get fun commentary. They don't get good stories, jokes. They get nothing in return. They just get this guy just like extracting money from them. More and more. It's never enough. Every day he wants 150. And then he wants 150 spread across 7 people. Then he wants every type of donation. It's like it never ends. It's never enough. When it does eventually end for him, anyway, and the whales do dry her up, he's gonna have a real psychotic break, you know, because he already panics. He panicked like he could hit like 10 stream goals, not hit one, and then hold a meeting with his fans, like a investor meeting. So I'm curious to see how his brain will react when he loses all his whales and he's back, like he's like a reality check of like, nah, you know what I mean? Those days of like doing $2 streams and shit. Like his head's gonna explode if that happens. He's not gonna be able to handle it at all. He really isn't.
Dude is a greedy sack of absolute shit that can't stream to save his life. And he's so combative and smug. He's gone so far from where he was just a few months ago.
That's why I'll never forgive Kino Casino. As much as I love Kino Casino and I love it, I enjoy watching their clips and shit, and they've got, you know, a fun show. That's why I can never forgive Kino Casino for empowering and emboldening this fucking guy, giving him confidence and shit. You know, make it, all the fucking king sack shit. You know, the screaming about let's get subs, all this sort of screaming shit they do. I can never forgive them for encouraging this nonsense.
Telling everyone he was a massive success and we were all losers. Oh, here's an extra clip.
Oh, I can't believe this. I'm not going to support this. Well,
Melbourne.
did you hear what I just said?
But Phil, I thought you said your streams were fun and interactive. Now you're telling me to go F myself.
It's the arms crossed for me that makes me, man. It's the arms crossed. He really thinks he's telling you off. It's the arms crossed that really gets me. It's the cross arms, the little petulant arms cross is what gets me.
Oh, I can't believe.
So defensive. The body language is like screaming, isn't it? Look how defensive he is.
This, I'm not going to support this. Well,
Melbourne.
You hear me?
Did you hear what I just said? You.
But Phil, I thought you said your streams were fun and interactive. Now you're telling me to go F myself.
And yes, I am going to make money. I am going to ask for contributions. And you're going to like it.
Bro, what?
That voice.
Like a dictator. Gone forever. Hey, give it to me one more time.
I am going to ask for contributions. And
you're
going to
like it. Oh my God, what a piece of shit.
Are you ready? So, all right, how about this? Let's get one contribution of each type. Let's get one super chat, one membership, and one sub right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
This is when Phil begs, but he thinks he's going to be funny with it. God, someone telling him to get 3 cameras is the worst thing to ever happen.
I don't know. I find it really impressive. Like, because I think I've heard Wings say he thinks he's cute. Don't you find it impressive how people like Wings and DSP like love the look, love the sound of their own voice, and also are in love with their own inflection? Like DSP is always checking the fucking monitor, always checking the fucking studio, always checking himself in the OBS. Always, he legitimately loves what he sees in the camera. For somehow, I don't know how. You know, the face is the head shape alone is wow. The hairline is, you know, let's not go about that. The patchy beard is another thing. The skin, I don't know, it's whatever. But he sees something completely different. Wings of Redemption sees a cute guy. I think Wings of Redemption said like he thinks he's cute. Like, you think you're cute? Wings, really? Like cute? In what way? And this guy's pulling all these smug faces and shit. And thinking he's a bad. I was just like, okay, I guess.
He sucks so much.
I learned from locals about narcissism. That narcissism doesn't just exist with people who are like awesome and do great things and maybe get too high off their own supply. Narcissism also exists in people who, you know, maybe don't look that appealing and shit, and have a weird living where they beg for money, but they literally think way more of themselves than they should. You know, he should be like somewhat ashamed of what he does, but he doesn't. He thinks himself as a real badass, you know, as a real fucking leader, and as a real fucking thinker, and as someone that people should be encouraging to, I don't know, whatever. It's just odd. It's just, the whole thing is just odd.
So terrible.
Right now. Let's get one.
He's so bad. That's why his wife is like 300 pounds now. There's no redeeming qualities. There's no charisma.
Zero.
He's just a void of a human existence. But you have to pay to see it. This is late stage.
I can't wait for him to react to this, by the way. I can't wait for DSP to hear about this. I can't, because he hates It's a Gundam. DSP fucking hates It's a Gundam. I can't wait to see what he says about him.
Capitalism. Old, overweight, muscle atrophied, gout-ridden man smugly proclaims into a camera,
I am going to ask for contributions,
and you're gonna
like it.
Okay, I forgot my point of this whole video, and my point is DSP really sucks. He's the worst streamer ever. These are just tiny clips. I didn't even put any thought into this dude. This is me just pulling stuff randomly, bro. Try to be your internet provider or government, and every advertiser this side.
Yeah, big up, It's a Gundam. Big up, It's a Gundam. Brilliant video. Big up, It's a Gundam. Big up, It's a Gundam. Okay, people. I'm going to leave you there for now. We'll be back again tomorrow for another show. Back again tomorrow. Back again tomorrow. Back again tomorrow. Make sure you smash the like button, hit subscribe, all that good shit. If you haven't already, that'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure you do that before you leave, por favor. What are you gonna do? Tomorrow we're gonna finish everything we got on my tab still. We're gonna go for all of that. If anything else fucking drops, we'll also check that out as well. But big up everybody in the stream chat. Before we leave, can people in the stream chat tell me what type of drugs this is from? What type of drugs would cause this type of reaction? I want people in the stream chat to tell me. What is it? Is it meth? Is it coke? Is it fent? Is it all the above? What type of drugs causes this reaction? Last clip before I leave you. What type of drugs causes this type of reaction?
Tell Sharp I'm coming tonight! I'm coming to Vegas tonight! Sharp, I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch! Sharp, I'm gonna fuck you up! I'm gonna fuck you up, Sharp!
This is gonna be clipped. That's a clip!
I'm not live, I'm gonna kill you! You fake pimp! You white faggot!
What drugs does that? Comments down below. Let me know what drugs do that. I would love to know what type of drug does that. Please let me know. But for now, thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. No, it's not a fucking chore as per usual. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you become a member if you can to help us hit the 500 goal by the end of the 31 days. Today was day 2, tomorrow will be day 3, so on and so forth. I'll see you guys on the other side. So thank you for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow, 11:45ish about my time. I'll put the fucking schedule up now later so you can see it, or the stream. Schedule the stream up later so you can see it. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow be there or be square, or later on today actually. But yeah, thank you for hanging out. Take care, people. Have a good one. Have a good